What's up, Evil Hand? What's happening? What's up, Bernie, Moji, Fern, Zaphode, Diosamente, Papa, Vesky, Matuna, Betty, Braude, Master Chops. Welcome in Aziz, Kunk, Saucer, Melkin, Razor. This should be quite interesting. Yeah, this is a 40-minute video. We're going to go over this whole thing. Track Van, Snaptron, the Mad Duck. I haven't watched it yet, so I just saw that it went up and people have been talking about it, so I'm going to watch it here on stream. What's up, Zento and Quinn? Young Chanceletta, Ubi and Bamboozled, Neodog, Golden Archer, Rickster. Yeah, I'll be giving my take, all my extra thoughts on it as we go. Someone want to pin that message? Thank you, Kunk. Is there just my brother? My brother in arms against the fight, against the big monetization dogs, you know? $40-minute video, 5-hour react. Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take to react. I'd guess somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. We'll see. We're going to go over it, talk about it, add extra details, add extra context, give my reaction to what he's saying. We'll see everything he's put in here. We did my own little thing yesterday where I went over my thoughts. And the day before, I guess, but I put together some things I think secondary needs to do, or they should do, and what's going wrong yesterday on stream before we started watching other YouTube videos. Regis is the largest YouTube Marvel Snap player. Yes, Regis is by far the largest. I think number 2 right now would be like Alex, you know? And I think Alex gets like less than half the views, so Regis is by far the largest. Like Alex, Dexter, Regis, you know. Nina is also up there, I guess. Who's Alex? Alex Kocha. You don't know Alex Kocha? The other half of the Snapchat. Like Cozy used to be up there, but Cozy just switched over to Rivals, you know. So we'll get playing this at like 15 minutes into the stream. We're just going to do a little intro here. Let me see if I can... Hold up. Let me just see if I have... I just want to pull this back up. Slowly turn it into a React channel. Yeah, maybe. This is what I made yesterday. I was just looking at like Marvel Snap, what we like about it. It's just a great overall game. It's got a lot of depth, but it's simple, you know? But the monetization is all about FOMO, addiction, habit forming. Just a recap. Yo, Marge, thank you for the prime. Thank you for 28 months, 26 months. And shout out to Alex also. But I was just going over like all the different types of people, how second hitter is burning them with their monetization and their way that they collect cards. You know, they can't, and I was talking about like some fixes that we could do just to actually give some, they're actually like things that they could really do to turn around the economy. But really, the main way that I think they buy goodwill is to actually acknowledge the situation, which they have not done, you know? They've only acknowledged that there was a communication problem. They haven't acknowledged that they actually think they did an oopsie, you know? I think they have to acknowledge it and they have to do right by the community with that, you know? That's the thing, but I don't see them doing that, you know? They haven't said we did wrong, you know? They haven't admitted fault. Fun was the only thing that's been keeping me buying the season pass, yeah. I think season pass is just the best value, but I think they could add better value, you know? Like they really go hard on this, you know? And it's just like, I feel like if you have this, you don't need this, you know? If you have a great game that hits all the marks, you don't need the other stuff, you know? Take the senior design director. Considering I have no design experience, I think I would be hugely underqualified. I think we all agree they messed up on Friday, but in fairness to them, since I'm sure the offices were closed over the weekend, so if they're going to backtrack, they would be only getting started figuring it out right now. Yeah, that's true. But I really just don't see them. Like, I hope that if we did not do the amount of pressure that I think all the creators are doing right now, I think that they would have just moved on as business as usual. I think the only reason they might do something at all is because of all the pressure we're putting on. All the biggest creators coming out, putting out these videos, saying all these things, you know, making their voices actually heard, saying like, this is not okay. And it hasn't been okay. And I'm sure Regis will get into it. I don't know what he's going to say, but we're going to listen to it and we're going to go through it all. Did Regis have a Twitch channel? Yeah, he has a Twitch channel. I'm pretty sure he's streamed in the past. I just think he had a child, and I think he's focused on taking care of that. And Twitch streaming is something that like doesn't have as flexible of a schedule as YouTube making. So, yo, Google Beats, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you for the 18 months. There, I love your content channel and takes, but at this stage, I'm totally burnt out hearing about this. Well, this is maybe the last big thing that we're talking about. This is the third day in a row we're talking about it. Not going to talk about it probably. I mean, we'll talk about it as new information comes out, but you know, it's not going to be the main topic of the streams going forward, hopefully. But I just want to see what Regis said, because Regis, I think, is a great voice for the community. He's someone who I think is just like a model content creator, you know? Like he does he always is looking out for the best interest of the people, for, you know, he does try and represent the developers honestly, you know? And he's someone who I think is just like makes good content on top of it all, you know? So I think he's kind of what you want in a content creator. I remember when he was coming up in Hearthstone, and I talked to our then community manager when I worked at Hearthstone, and he was basically like glazing Regis and being like, look, like Regis, he may not be that big now, but he sees a lot of potential in him, because like Regis is doing exactly all the things that I just said, you know? He's someone who like, he comes at things from a very positive mindset, you know? There's no way they weren't watching this over the weekend. You don't put out a reactionary statement and ignore your customer base for 2 days, then again, it's second dinner. Yeah. They definitely were watching, but it's like they're still off the clock is the thing. So they're gonna be watching all this stuff, probably, some of the people who work there. But they're definitely going to be not acting and having like meetings on it in the office, you know. As most of your stream was 5 years ago? Well, how long ago did he have his kid? Wasn't his kid like 3 years ago? So that means 2 years before that he didn't? I don't know. Yeah, Cozy Reaction should come out tomorrow, right? Is that what Snapchat comes out on Mondays, I think? Or is it on Tuesdays? It's on Tuesdays, actually, right? I don't know, actually. I don't know what day of the week it is. I know they changed their day around the time me and Dexter were doing our podcast. It's Mondays? Okay, it is Mondays, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll wait. We're going to wait another couple minutes for more people to come in before we start the video. just so that people have a chance to show up here. But yeah, I'm curious what Cozy and Alex will have to say. Don't you think they're just milking their player base before they're leaving the development of the game? See, I don't think so. First of all, that's making the assumption that there's just like one person making all the decisions over there. I don't think their ultimate goal is to milk their player base and just shut down shop. I think that is the effect that they're having based on the monetization choices that they're making, you know? I don't think they're actively being like, all right, let's just milk them for as much as we can before we have to close up shop. I don't think that's going on in any meeting. I think it's like the outcome from the incentives that the individual monetization people have. They want to look at the quarterly results and look at the monthly whatever so they can report back maybe to their investors. Who knows? Because they do have investors in this game. They do have Marvel IP payments that they have to make, you know. So it's like there's got to be something that's going on that's forcing them to want to do these short-term gains at the expense of long-term reputation and potential gains. Cozy's really sticking around to support Alex, and I mean that positively. They have a strong relationship with people of the podcast. Otherwise, he's all about left side. Yeah, I do think that if it wasn't a duo podcast, I think Cozy would have been out. I think he is doing it for Alex in a sense. And I think that's like you said, it's really respectable, and I think that really shows that he's a good guy. The same thing with Dexter. Dexter stuck around in our podcast for season 2 of our podcast, even though like we were making zero money on it and it was going only on my channel. You know, Dexter kept it going for a while until I decided it just wasn't worth it for me even at that point, you know. You've seen the Regis video? Yeah, Sega is not going anywhere soon. They did get a big round of investment for their next games. That's the thing. They have new IP coming out. They said it's a new major IP, and like we've already did some like guessing on it, you know, and everyone's leaning towards it being like Star Wars or like Lord of the Rings or something like that, you know. Like it's not Pokemon. There's no way it's Pokemon because Pokemon just came out with their own thing. So it's like I'm leaning towards like Star Wars, Splat lore IP, but we'll have to see what it actually comes out with. But I feel like the only reason why I would maybe not think it's Star Wars is because they basically said it would be like global appeal with people's moms playing it. And people's moms aren't going to be playing a Star Wars IP. That's the thing. So I don't know. That's why I'm a little bit like, but maybe they're just out of touch with. Well, it is going to be a Candy Crush type game. They said it was going to be match 3 in their um, posting. So it's hard to say exactly what it would be. Yeah, but you know, Angry Birds. Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be. But I mean, again, I'm going to be probably looking at that game as I do like when I get emails from random like mobile games asking me to sponsor their game, you know, asking me to do a sponsor stream. I'll look at it the same way and be like, how like is this that predatory? Do I want to represent this in any way, you know? Like there are a lot of games that I turn down because I'm like, no, this game is just like too much, you know. And that's like how I'm gonna look at their next game, you know. It's like, is it way too bad, you know, in that regard, you know? Is the gameplay actually decent at all? I still play Pokemon Go because my entire family plays since inception. Yeah, Pokemon Go is was actually like a fun, you know, social game. Raid Shadowlands. I've done sponsors of Raid. Like, I think there's a lot of games out there that like have some aggressive models once you get into like a certain amount of like time played or whatever, but a lot of them are just like free to play, like freemium games. Like I guess not freemium. It's just like it's free to play with like really heavy models, similar to Marvel Snap. That's the thing. But it's like games that are less about the gameplay, more about the monetization. Like they're like I'm not gonna be taking just a normal rate for those games. Like that's the thing. Like and that's why it's like I almost never do those games because I don't just like take every sponsor that comes my way for whatever amount of money. Like I make sure that like if it's gonna resonate with my player base, I'm willing to take less money because like if it's a game like Marvel Strike Force, which just ended, like I figure some people I know came from Marvel Strike Force before Marvel Snap because they like Marvel IP and it's just like it's like a fun game. Like it's similar to Raid in a lot of ways, but it's got some other little things going on there. Losing frames. You guys can still see and hear me, right? Because it was only skipping half my frames. You've been playing Strike Force Daily for 5 years? Yeah. Like it's just like a mobile game that like it's like a power up, like you get stronger kind of game. Like you could just play it daily, not spend any money, and like slowly rise your way up the ranks. But or you could pay money and accelerate your progress. Like it's just one of those games. I think those games are fine. Just to I played a lot of those games in my day. It's like cookie clicker to me. It's just like you want to just like see the number go up and you sign it every day. It's just like a habit thing that's just like fun to do. You would never spend money on Pick 3? Yeah. I don't think I ever spent money. I played a lot of Candy Crush when it came out. I don't think I ever spent any money on Candy Crush. I think I spent maybe like I don't know if I spent any money on Angry Birds either. I don't think I did. I watched ads maybe. Yeah, I think there was ads on Candy Crush, no? I might have watched ads on Candy Crush because there was ways that you could like if you watched a 30-second ad, I think you could progress in some other way. I would probably like I feel like people would prefer Marvel Snap rather than their crazy monetization to put ads into the game. I think some people would prefer that. If they just had an option like in the settings or whatever to like go unlock like 100 or 100 gold. You watch a 30-second ad or something. I'm sure plenty of people would do that. Like not ads that you're forced to watch, ads that you could choose to watch to get gold. That is cheap, but it's like I think that right now their monetization isn't working the way they're doing it. They're so like I don't like ads at all. I never want to watch an ad, and it's not worth it to me most of the time. Like unless I could just like tune out and just like click it and just get some stuff, or if it's actually good. I pay to get rid of ads in most things that I do. Snap already does in-game ads. They just don't do anything for you or them. What do you mean? Oh, new bundle. Yeah, those are ads for their own stuff though. All right, you guys ready to watch this? Let's watch Regis. Let's see what he has to say. Let me turn off the music. Let me turn on the sound for Regis. Holy shit. I actually did write out a similar thing. Like that's how I came out with like I had a lot more thoughts than like that's a lot. But like when I made this, I had like a lot more stuff that I would just condense this down just to show on stream. But like I had thought out a lot of stuff just like this kind of like I would, and I was gonna make a. What was loud? Sorry, is something too loud? Oh, me and the mic? Holy shit. Oh, my bad. It shouldn't be any louder. Like I have a cap on how loud I can get. But yeah, I realized I was just like when I was writing it all out, I was gonna make like a PowerPoint and show it to you guys on stream. And I'm like, this is gonna take forever to make. And then I also realized that I was going wait. I started going back to like Nexus events, explaining Nexus events and the history of Marvel Snap and like all their monetization choices. I was like, this is way too much. You know, volume up on Regis. Okay. Well, I had him all the way up, but yeah. 2 hour long. Yeah, it was just I was gonna do a whole thing, but I instead just like condensed it. You know, made it more digestible for stream. I could go in and do that again, but we'll see what Regis has to say. You know. I'll do Subway Surfing. This we know. Yeah. Oh, you guys snapped. Snap. Yeah, everyone, but really puts a whole nother spin on Marvel Snap. You know. You know, the more I realize, like, next events were worse, but it really wasn't too dissimilar in price. You know, it's like that's the crazy thing is that like they've really just tried to shove Nexus events at us in repackaged ways time and time again. That's what they keep trying to do. They're like, we really want this gotcha thing to work, but we just want to package it in a way that people won't realize we're doing the gotcha thing, you know? Next events, it was, I think you, on average, would have spent $200 on a card. But if you were the most unlucky you possibly could be, I think it was like $400 or something like that. So it's like, on average, $200. That was if you uh, needed just the new card, I think. I can't remember the exact numbers. What were Nexus events? Here, I'll show you real quick. Just a really quick. I have a video on Nexus events, but I'll just show you the what it looked like real quick because I showed this last stream, but I made this back when I was a newbie creator. This is when I was brand new at being a creator. So if you look, this is what a Nexus events looks like. So you're on this page, you get Nexus events. You click, you open basically like a cache in the same way, but you pay gold. So 180 gold to open 1, 1800 gold to open 10. There's no discount for opening 10. And it says guaranteed 4-star reward every 10 you open. And you have a chance to open the new card, Jane Foster, or a card that already existed, a Series 3 card, Destroyer, in these Nexus events. Those are two cards that are in the Nexus event caches, you know? That's how they worked. So it says a guaranteed 4-star reward every 10 open. And if you look at this page, what do you think that means? Spoiler alert, it was not a 4-star reward. Yeah. So it was, you had to pay way more than 1800 gold to get all the stuff there. So, you know, it was just like, it was awful. Yeah, no wonder people went nuts. Yeah, exactly. It was like scam after scam, you know? It's just like they literally put the little guaranteed 4-star reward, made it look like those two cards are 4-star rewards, and then it wasn't. So you thought you'd be getting it for 1800 gold, and then you have to click on it, and then you're like, oh shit, it's actually a lot more expensive. It's like luckily they only did this once. But even still, like, they've repackaged that multiple times, I think, in their new monetization. And it's basically the same thing. It's just like in a different package. Like the spotlight caches and now the snap packs and other things are just similar to Nexus events. They're not as bad. Like it doesn't cost as much, but it's really not that much cheaper. They've like kept the prices not that much lower, you know? That's the thing. That's what it's always been. It's always been this like really bad model. Since the very start. People have just been able to stomach a bit more because it's not so in your face about it. They've only ever done this, I think, with Nexus events. Like, even when they were going over to snap packs, you know, they're like, look, we realize there's some frustration. Like, they've never said it's too expensive, is the thing. You know, they never said, like, you don't have enough choice, you know? Like, they've doubled and tripled down on the unique collections and the pricing. You know, that's Nexus events was the only time that they ever admitted to this, and the only time that they've ever tried to do right. And Nexus events, they straight up lied to us right after Nexus events and said, look, we're going to double down and we're going to focus on the season pass and variants, is what they said they were going to do. They're like, Nexus events was a failure. We're going to just go into that. And then they came back and then they gave us the exact opposite. They focused and tripled down and made it more pay to win. Like before Nexus events and before Series 4 and 5, there was no pay to win in the same exact way that there is now. Now they made it so that better cards are more expensive, you know? That's a problem. I don't think they've ever offered compensation for a monetization choice. Can you guys tell me if I'm wrong? Like they did give everyone a free snap pack, I think, when they switched over to snap packs. That was just like a overhaul, you know, to introduce a new system. I don't think they've ever said, look, we did wrong with our monetization. Here's some new stuff. I'm dropping frames right now. I'm gonna wait. All right. They probably didn't see many people buying Nexus events. That's why it was a failure. Otherwise, they wouldn't have backtracked. Well, there was also huge community backlash similar to this Kid Omega thing. Like I made a video, like everyone else that was in beta made a video, and you know, like everyone basically said how bad it was, you know. Yeah, I think part of the problem with this thing that I've talked about the raising the water temperature the last couple of days of just like making it like they're slowly making it seem not as bad. If they just start off really bad and then they just push it up a little bit, people are gonna be like, okay, that's all right. Like it was like really bad when they first announced season pass, and everyone was like, they're locking a card behind a paywall where you can't get it unless you pay, and everyone was like, oh man, $10 a month. It might not seem like that much, but that's a lot to like lock a card behind. And then that is now the best thing in Marvel Snap monetization wise. That's the best thing now, and that was people were outraged about that at the start. That's what's so crazy. They literally are doing so many things that are bad that it just makes the also bad thing look good now. You know, that's how much they're doing in monetization, you know. That's just like negative. They've not made us 30% of the way. I don't agree with 30%. Like I've done the math and you know, like each time they do a change, it's not 30% better, you know. Maybe only with Nexus events was it 30% better, you know. Like they did do some changes like when they split like the series 3, they made it half the amount of time to get a series 3. That was really good, you know, cuz that was like way too long. So that is a big increase like in the amount of time. But that like in itself the series 3 pool has grown and grown and grown and grown. So you need to split it in half because there's more than twice as many series 3 cards as there were at the very beginning, you know. So it's like it's kind of like maintenance that they needed to do anyway. They need because they're not dropping anything down to series 2, you know, that's old. So it's like as things grow, you need to do those sort of things. So it's not really making it any better in a lot of ways, you know. They're just doing the maintenance that they need to do to keep the game like playable for new players at all. True. Which is crazy. It's actual crazy PR speak. Could I enable the audio? Do you want closed captions? Is that what you're asking for? I've said this over the last couple of days. Regis does give, I think, some really good, concise, well thought out feedback to them. And it does feel like it's fallen on deaf ears. Like I never see anything like he gives really good feedback, and it almost certainly it's always just like a "we hear you, but we're not going to do anything about it" kind of vibe, you know, every single time. People keep the volume so low on Dara they can't hear Regis. Wait, is my volume and Regis? It says my Regis volume and me volume are the same. Is it? Is there something wrong? That actually is a good cause. Everyone go support Child's Play right now. What's up, Becky? Regis doesn't have audio in the VOD. Oh, is that what you're saying? All right, yeah. I don't know if I can change that midstream unless I add another audio source. I can try and see if I can change this. Let me put this on. That's what you want. You want Regis to have audio. Here you go. Desktop audio. Now it should. I don't know if it works.
Maybe it wasn't going to ever get a lot better, but maybe it wouldn't get that much worse. And this week it was like, they finally just said, hey, no, man, it's staying bad and it might get worse. And that's just really frustrating, dude. Like, I've been trying so hard behind the scenes. I write so many diatribes to the Marvel Snap team, often unacknowledged, sometimes acknowledged, but never actually really taken into consideration, you know. I've pushed and pushed and pushed.
To be fair, I feel like that is just the case with all content creators. I feel like they don't actually want our feedback. They more just want our support. It's more so, it feels like they want to have a one-way level of communication where they tell us things and us disseminate that out to you guys, pretty much. It's like whenever we go and give feedback back about what our communities feel or whatever, it just seems to be like they don't care at all about that. Like like Griffin is great at being a community manager, and he actually does make us feel heard, but it feels like his hands are tied in the fact that like he just is the messenger. We'll take messages back, you know. But they're almost always just, especially when it comes to anything monetization. Monetization, I feel like, is the number one thing that we have zero say over, zero of our feedback feels to be taken into consideration at all. You know, even when they present things to us, you know, it just feels like nothing we say actually would. It's only like they just want to gauge our reaction sometimes, I feel like, just to be able to have messaging changed. That's it. They just want to be able to communicate out what they're going to do better. They're not going to change what they're going to do. That's what it seems like, you know. Always seems like that.
Pushed. I try to be a really positive guy.
Like, I can understand, like, from someone who works at a game company, you don't want like a bunch of, you know, Redditors making your decisions for how you monetize your game or whatever, you know. But it's like there is something to be said about like general feedback of a general community and their general sentiment around things. And if you're not meeting the mark, you need to make changes. And it doesn't seem like they seem to do that or seem to realize all their implications. They'd rather just try and get another buck rather than actually some good PR for once, you know?
I don't even know if I really try to be. I think I am just a positive person. I don't even know if I really try. I just have fun playing video games. Usually that comes across on screen. But
like, I think the general vibe seems to be, we know better. It's our job to do this thing. We're doing our jobs well. We're making money. You guys just need to suck it up and take what we're giving you, you know? That's what the vibe is. Like, they don't admit their mistakes. Like, Rita said that they own up to it. They do, here's a good make good. They don't do that when it comes to monetization. Like, when have they done that when it comes to monetization, you know? I asked people in my last two streams, can you name a time? Like, Nexus Events is the only time that I can think of where they actually said, like, look, we messed up. They haven't done the same sort of, like, we need to really fix it. Like, they did do a big monetization overhaul because they realized the spotlight caches were causing issues, you know? But that took them 2 years, like, to fix spotlight caches, you know? I actually don't know how long spotlight caches are, but it was a long time, you know? It was just like, they were like, okay, well, now we finally have a replacement for it, you know?
But man, behind the scenes, I'm actually more of a shark sometimes. Like, I'm a lot more fierce from a business standpoint, from like I'm kind of a business guy behind the scenes, which most people never see, and I'm very direct and very, not rude, but very critical of Marvel Snap behind the scenes with other creators, with with Marvel Snap themselves, it doesn't come across on video because I'm not talking about that. I'm just playing the game and having fun. I've really come at them so many times. Other creators will tell you, because they're in the Discord with me, seeing all the messages I write. I just write these like 10-paragraph diatribes politely but like firmly, and it never goes anywhere. But anyway, like I've really tried, and this makes me want to give up on trying anymore. Like I don't think I can impact change. I don't know what to do anymore. Like I just don't think.
I felt that way since the start, like in the very beginning, I felt like there was some little things that I was able to do, like I felt like I was able to maybe like give tiny nudges in some ways, like in the beta, Who is Kilvin? A content creator? Yeah, Regis is the biggest Marvel Snap YouTuber. But I feel like outside of that, they've never really listened at all in my experience when it comes to monetization, When it comes to acquisition, when it comes to anything, any sort of in-game, when it comes to events, when it comes to like collecting, when it comes to card releases, I don't think I've seen any creators' feedback be taken in, like even when it comes to balance. I think balance is the one thing that like does get listened to very slightly sometimes, but it does still, even that, I feel like a lot of people don't want to like think that they're not able to do their jobs themselves, so they don't want to listen to outside sources, outside influence, So here's a big question for creators, but I guess Dara, since he's here, if things are so apologetically bad, how do you all feel about continuing to essentially promote the game via creating content as well as generating revenue from doing so? Well, that's basically like, if you're working at your job and you don't like what your company's doing, do you just quit your job? That's the thing. Like, you could, but it's like, unless you have another job lined up, you usually don't do that, So, once I get another job lined up, essentially, if I get another game that I start streaming, yeah, sure, I'll stop supporting Marvel Snap. That's the thing. Like, I've already not really streamed Marvel Snap for the last 3 days. Like, I did a react. I literally just watched YouTube videos on my stream yesterday instead of playing Marvel Snap after I talked more about this stuff, But it is one of those things that, like, if I want to be a streamer, I pretty much have to stream Marvel Snap right now to make any money. So that's like my choice, is make zero money streaming, or not zero, but like next to like closer to zero than to what I would be making if I did stream Marvel Snap, Put it in for a while, then find a new job. Yeah, I mean, that is what a lot of people do. In hindsight, we all had a lot of copium when they said we were moving away from Newverse. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think that was their opportunity to do a regime change, If they were able to like swap out some of the people that were making some of the bad decisions and maybe go in a different direction with monetization and really do right by the players, they really could have turned things around and been like, look, they could have even, scapegoated Newverse and been like, we don't have Newverse here anymore. We're just going to do right by the players now, And then even if it wasn't Newverse that was doing it, they could have scapegoated it at the very least and came out ahead, But they didn't do that. But doesn't that speak to the strength of convictions? An actual job or streaming another game are two different things. What do you mean an actual job? I don't think you understand that this is my actual job. That's the thing. Like right now, me streaming Marvel Snap is my actual job. It's not two different things. It's like that is what I do for a job right now. That is how I make a living. So it's like it's the strength of convictions in the same way. Like if you're working for a company and you don't like what that company's doing, like I worked for Amazon and a lot of people were like angry when like Amazon like was doing bad things like in the warehouses and like not treating their workers right. Do I go quit my tech job side of Amazon because in the warehouses they're doing bad things? I could, but it's like there's a one thing about like just getting up and quitting your job because you like do something, or you can be a voice from the inside sometimes and you can have a platform and you can speak out against it, That's the other thing too, I think it's meant like a 9 to 5 for streaming where you have more individual choices. Well, it's like the thing is with streaming, it's not so much just like you're an entrepreneur, right? You're doing your own thing. You're your own boss. You make your own money. You only get paid when you do stream or when you make content in any way. It's a lot more up and down. Like you don't have any security, you don't have health insurance, you don't have a lot of things, you know. So there is a lot more unknown when it comes to this, but it does come with a lot of flexibility, and that's why I do it, right? Like it comes with a lot of like I'm definitely making right now like 1/10 of what I made at my tech job, you know. So it's like I give up a lot of money to be able to have this flexibility and the ability to talk to you guys in this way, you know. So it's like I think if Marvel Snap continues to go down the hole, you know, like I won't be able to sustain myself on streaming. That's the thing, unless I'm able to switch out of it. That's how it goes. So it's like obviously this is going to be a much bigger thing for us content creators like me and Regis and anyone else who's like all in on Marvel Snap kind of right now. It's hard to see the thing that you have attached yourself to and the thing that you love and you actually do really like as a game and something that you did like playing and showing off to your viewers, making all these terrible decisions. That's why it's like more personal for us in some ways, you know. Got so bad at my old job, I quit without a job in January. Luckily found something. Yeah, that's how it felt like when I was at HBO. I saw so much shit at HBO that I just like, I wanted to get out as soon as possible at that job. There was just like some really like, also I had the worst boss of all time. Do you consider ever going back to a non-stream job? Yeah, I consider it all the time, you know. It's something that like I streamed my first year and a half streaming. I had a full-time job while I was streaming, you know. The big problem with that is I just like I can't stream during the day because I have my day job, you know. So it's like my streamer hours are then only at nighttime, you know. So and those are typically not as good hours as the daytime hours, like right now. For me at least. I mean, absolutely zero shade here. I'm just saying that the way it is at the moment, there's tacit support for the company. By continuing to support it, happy or not about it, that's the reality. That's how it is with anything, though. That's the thing. Like, it's like you either like you could take a moral stance and not support something in any way. Like I said, it's a similar thing to Amazon. Do you order from Amazon.com? Do you buy an iPhone? Do you do any of these things? Like all of these companies do little things, sometimes big things, that you don't morally agree with, and you can take a moral stance. You can become a vegan, you know, if you don't want to support the beef industry, you know, like you can do all these things, but there are going to be choices in your life where you take the moral stance and where you know, you don't take the moral stance and you put up with a bit of the immorality to do the thing that you enjoy doing, you know. You like having a hamburger, you like owning an iPhone, you like getting your packages in one day, you know. Like a lot of times you'll take some convenience over ethics, you know. That's just how life is in general, you know. You can fight, you can push in ways that try and promote change while still consuming on the things that you enjoy, you know. It's not the only way to do change is to completely forego the thing that is making bad decisions. There's a lot of people that work on Marvel Snap. There's a lot of people who work at Second Dinner that are not making these bad decisions, and they're actually making a good game. They're making positive things in the game, and they really enjoy doing what they're doing, and they're getting shit on by the people that are making the poor monetization choices. You making the choice to say, I'm not going to engage with this at all, is also hurting them, the good people that are doing all those things, you know? It's not just one monolith, one entity over at Second Dinner. There's a lot of people that work on it, a lot of people that do things. Yeah.
I don't think I have enough power or influence, despite probably being the at least the most popular YouTuber from a view standpoint anyway, like, you know, most influential.
Do you think big whales are worried of having invested thousands of the game, not content creators, for the future of the game I've already made and I only buy Season Pass? Yes, I do think that. That's one thing. I think that is constantly a thing. And I talked about this yesterday, that I think the whole Kid Omega situation is just like spitting in the face of whales, because whales have invested so much in the game. And Kid Omega was basically a way to circumvent tokens. It was a way to say, look, here's a new card that's come out. You have all these tokens, but we don't want you to be able to spend your tokens on this new card for a month. So if you're a whale, we want you to spend gold on top of all these tokens that you've already got banked up to get this new card. It is a way, it's a scammy monetization tactic. in a way to try and get people that have already spent a lot on the game to spend even more. That's what I'm trying to say, that the whales, they've invested so much into this game. They have a bank of stuff, and they're also getting screwed over by these monetization choices, which I think is just shows the problem at Second Dinner is the people just trying to be like, how can we milk the whales even more? That is what they're doing in their meetings, and that's what they're coming up with. And this is what they came up with for 𝔹𝕃ℂ𝔻 in a way to milk the whales even more. This is what it was designed around, and that is what they did here. True whales don't view it as an investment. Yeah, true whales don't. True whales, by true whales, you mean the people who are just like throwing money at it because they just want to buy everything in the game and they don't really care about it. But it is an investment in the sense that, like, if they were to swap everything up and pull the rug out from you and decide to just switch over to like a new, like they're like, okay, tokens are worthless now, and now we have this new currency that you get all the cards with. The whales would be pissed because they have invested a lot and they have a lot of tokens banked up, and they're like, what are all my tokens used for? Don't whales just move on? I mean, they would if that was the case. That's what I'm saying. But I think a lot of the whales are sticking around because they are so invested in the game. They spend so much on the game. They have every single card. I'm a whale. I've spent $10,000 on the game, you know, and I'm still here. But that's also just because I'm a content creator, you know.
Theoretically, from a reach standpoint or whatever that means, right? I just don't think they care about what I think, or at the very least, don't. You know, maybe some people do. You know, I think there's probably people who care and probably people who are trying to do the right thing within Second Dinner, and other people who aren't. You know, there's always clashes in these company environments. So maybe some people care, but I don't know, man. I'm tired. But anyway, the statement on Friday just really, I don't know, dude. It just made me sad. Like, it made me sad. We'll talk more about.
Do we have an upcoming event on Snap? Yeah, there's an upcoming Sanctum event that's coming out in like a week, or I don't know when it comes out. Someone can tell me.
All of this, but here's why, right? Here's why I think it made me particularly sad, because they just promised this new era of Marvel Snap, because we had the blip earlier this year where the United States banned TikTok temporarily, and because of Marvel Snap's connection to the parent company ByteDance, Marvel Snap also went offline for a little bit, right? And because of all that, they decided to step away from their publisher Newverse, who is connected to ByteDance, and self-publish the game. And they tease, you know, this is a new era for Marvel Snap. We're taking over all these processes and all these things, and blah, 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 blah. The game's going to get so much better with this new era.
If you're not a content creator, would you have stopped a long time ago? And how do you think, and how much do you think you spent on the game? I spent probably about $10,000 on the game. And yeah, I probably would have stepped away a couple months ago, maybe. I actually really like the gameplay right now, you know? The gameplay in Marvel Snap right now is probably some of the better gameplay we've had in the game. And the fact that they started doing more card drops actually has made it more interesting and made it, like, the meta feel more fresh as they've done it. So I think they've been doing a good job on that front. It's just the monetization is just like, the second I run out of resources and have to actually spend more money on the game, like, since I've spent so much money, I've had enough resources banked that I haven't had to spend any money for the last 8 months, other than the season pass. But the second I'm out of resources, like, I'm gonna have to, like, make the decision, like, am I gonna start spending more money on this game again, or am I going to, you know, just be done? It's one of those things, like, and that's with me being a content creator, not just like I don't know. That's the question. I'm like, if things don't change, it's like, what am I gonna do? That's the question I've been asking myself. Like, things just haven't been changing. And it's like, it's one of those things that, like, do I want to keep supporting this game that is trying to just milk people for as much as they can? You know? Like, it is so fun right now, and they're doing a really good job on that front. But, like, I really want to see what's going on behind the scenes there. Like, how much money are they having to pay to Marvel, and how much money are they, like how much are they taking home? Like, and how much can they afford to, like, I feel like they're literally just milking Marvel Snap right now because they're trying to fund their new games, and they don't want to take more and more investment, I guess. I don't know. They already got a big investment. So it's kind of weird that it's just like, what are they trying to do over there with all the, like, I don't know what's going on. Regis touches all? Okay, we'll get to
Era
it.
of Marvel Snap. And a lot of us, myself included, naively thought, oh, hey, maybe that's true. Maybe they won't push players so far or ask so much of players in this new era. You know, maybe for whatever reason, the publisher was pushing a lot of these more aggressive monetization and progression and engagement demands out of players, and maybe it'll.
Yeah, Haver Midnight says you quit, remove the game for your phone. Yeah, I do see a lot of people thinking that this is like the moment where they're just like, okay, this is like the catalyst for quitting, you know? Like, this is like the beginning of the end. This is just like something that like it's the last straw, you know? It's like literally everything's been leading up to like if they were trying to make a new era, as Regis had said, and they basically screwed that, and they showed that this is not a new era. This is the exact opposite of a new era. It's a new era in the other direction. They're literally making it more predatory than it was before, and they're continually looking for new ways to monetize in an aggressive way, rather than looking for new ways to build goodwill. That's what they need to do. The license fee has to be astronomical, but I agree it would be cool to see their financials. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine what, like, if they feel like they're going to be insolvent if they just don't make enough money, like, in this next quarter. It seems like every single, like I said this yesterday, but it seems like every single event, every single season, they're just trying to milk as much money as they can because they feel like if they don't, they're living paycheck to paycheck over there, where if they don't get enough money, they're going to all of a sudden have to shut down the studio. That's what it feels like they're doing with their monetization choices. It's like, are they really that desperate that they can't do some goodwill buying each event or each month? They can't have one event where they just make it feel good, you know? They can't give away one Series 5 card for free. Like, they can't do that. They just can't afford it. It's like, it's on top of all the normal releases anyway. It's like, how much development time went into creating that Series 5 card? Is it $1 million for them of designer time to create one Series 5 card that they're like, shit, we can't give away this for free? Like obviously it's an opportunity cost of a Series 5 card that they could release for money, but it's like it's on top of the other cards. It's like, how much design space? I get that they do spend a decent amount of time designing. It's not $1 million worth of design time, you know? I've been there when they've done these calculations at like, I did the financial side at Hearthstone. I did the financial side and design side, so I saw both sides of the world from the numbers perspective. I was the one doing the numbers. And part of the thing that they put into the calculation is it is just opportunity cost. They say developer time is essentially opportunity cost time. So it's like, how much is the stuff that they're making worth? That's how much they say like the developer's time is worth. So when they do the calculation, they're like, okay, this developer can spend, like, if they spend 10 hours, that's going to be $15 million worth of stuff. You know, so their 10 hours of time is worth $15 million. But that developer is getting paid $30,000, like, well, they're getting paid like $60,000 a year or something. Like, they're getting shit, you know? It's just like so crazy to me that they're just like, the actual cost of the labor of the person that they're using is getting shit pay, but they actually put in the calculated cost of how much money they're going to actually produce based on what they've done, you know? And those numbers aren't exact. I'm throwing huge numbers out there just so that you guys can get the picture. But it's like, it's crazy. Are you sponsored by Goodwill or something? You keep giving them shoutouts. The card will be in snap packs next season. That negates the monetization of Kid Omega. It's only monetized if you need it now. They made a bad decision, but the card will be free soon. It's not free, first of all. You still depend on tokens, which you have to earn in the game or pay money for. Second of all, locking something behind a paywall for a limited time is still a... like, you want to engage with a card when it's new and fresh and people are playing it. You know, that's how metas work in the game. If you're engaging with things months behind, you're not engaging in the meta. Like, metas change within the month. You don't get to play in that meta. It's like if you're like, oh, in a Hearthstone expansion, they give all the cards cost money, but then if you play it in a year's time, they give that card to you for free, and then you can just play it for free. It's like, okay, but it's a completely different time. Like, there's two different times, so you just don't get to play in that time. That's just how it works.
着いた着いた。久しぶりやな、東京駅に来んのも。
バカ、着いたんじゃなくてこれから出かけるところ。
そんな意味なや。ここんところくに外も出歩いとらんかったから何見ても珍しいんや。
でもすいません、大阪からわざわざ往復していただいて。い
え、東京のお宅から証明するよう組長から言いつかっておりますので、どうぞご遠慮なく何でもお申し付けください。
お世話になります。
よっと、ほな行きましょうか。ええですって。荷物くらい自分で持ちますって。
飽きまへん。お体に触ります。 時20分発のぞみ71号新大阪行きです。全席指定となっております。
はあ、新幹線もいつの間にかえらいかっこようなったな。なんや飛行機みたいやな。
7号車ですからこの先になりますね。
ほら遅いわもう。
その声は。
新幹線出てまうで。ちんたら歩いてんとさっさとし。
佐賀の
なんでお前が。
報告が遅れました。今回盆もご同行されます。
ま、そういうこっちゃ。よろしく。
よろしくやないわ。
ボケ、お前に言うとんやないわ、先輩に言うとんじゃ。
まあまあとりあえず乗ってくださいね。
そうですね。ほら炎上寺。
いやわいは納得でけへんわ。せっかくのハネムーンが。
大きな声で言うな。小高一馬原作、
ルボーサウンドコレクション、絆。
炎上寺の通院が落ち着いた頃、私たちは京都遠征の日取りを決めた。炎上寺の言う通り、この旅行はハネムーン、新婚旅行であった。そう、私たちは数ヶ月前結婚したのだ。
なんじゃ。
炎上寺、気がついたか？気分は？
ちょっとだるい。
まだ麻酔が効いてるんだ。無理するな。よかった、本当に。今先生を呼んでくるからな。
なんやったっけ。なんやめっちゃ大事なこと忘れとるみたいな。
いいから、今は何も考えるな。安静にしている。
ワイのスーツどこや。
バカ者！傷口が開いたらどうする。寝ていよ。
今のが痛い。
やかましい。貴様怪我を治す気があるのか。
思い出した。ワイのスーツの上着。
スーツ？スーツならさっき今川さんが届けてくれたが。
よかったあんた。
泣くほど大事なものか。
これやこれ。
どれだ。なぜ隠すんだ。
追反射的に。
つまり私に見られるとまずいものなんだな。
いや、ほら、こういうのな、渡すタイミングっちゅうもん。
何をわけのわからんことを見せてみろ。
あかん、あいだ、そこいだ、やだ、
見せろと言っているんだ。
静かにしてください。ここは病院ですよ。
すみません。
見てみ、怒られたやないかい。
随分と元気そうじゃないか。これなら治りも早いぞ。
血圧測りますからね。腕を出してください。
はーい。
あら、炎上寺さん結婚されてたんですか？
いや、これはお守りみたいなもんなんで。
あら、そう、お守りなの。
なるほど、お守りが効いたみたいだね。
そうですね。
それじゃお大事に。
はい、すいません。
なんだか私ばかり損をしてるな。私ばかり心配してお前には振り回されてばかりいる。私の言うことも聞きやしないし。
聞いとるやんか。
じゃあお前が今入院しているのはなぜだ。私の言うことなんか聞いてもいない立派な証拠だろう。
はいはい、わかったって。
はいはいじゃない。少しは自分の行動に責任を持ったらどうだ。お前一人のために一体どれだけの人が迷惑したと。
はいはいはい、すんませんでした。
もう疲れた。
ほなやめようか。疲れる関係なんか長続きせえへんしな。 今のうちに別れとこうや。わい、マンション出るわ。大阪行って、佐賀の県になろう。うん。そないしょ。嘘に決まっとるやろ。そんな怒りなんや。なあ、こっち来いや。お前動けへんねんから。あんちゃん、ごめんって。言い過ぎた。すんません。頼むし。泣かんといてやな。その顔はめっちゃ弱いんやって。
嫌いだ。お前なんか。大嫌い。
悪かった。前が悪かった。
バカ者。
はい。
次こんなことしたら別れてやる。
はい、二度としません。忘れとって。目つむって左手出して。
何？
からまだ目開けたらあかんで。
炎上寺、一体何を？
もうあかんちゅうだのに。
指を。
サイズどや見してみや。感じ。緩かったら直せるしな。ほい、ワイトおそろ。これはそのどうかワイと結婚してください。いや、私円城寺慶は生涯鮫島蘭丸を愛し続けることをここに誓います。辞める時ものが先やったか。いろいろセリフ考えとったんや。バタバタしとってすっかり忘れてもうたな。
バカかお前。
めっちゃ真剣に言うてんの。それはないやろ。
男同士で結婚なんて。
そうほんまにはできへんけど、わいはランちゃんとしか結婚したないし。うんって言うてくれや。せやないとわい一生独身や。な、頼むわ、結婚して。
バカ者。こんな情けないプロポーズ聞いたことないぞ。
そらすまんかった。鮫島蘭丸、あなたは円城寺慶を生涯愛し続けることを誓いますか？誓いますかっちゅうてね。
そうだな。しょうがないから誓ってやります。
しょうがないってなんやねんそれ。
言葉通りだ。私がもらってやらないと一生独身なんだろう。
ひねくれもん。
このお調子者。
くそ。誓いのギスは
仕方ないからしてやろう。
そらおおきに。ありがとうございます。
生涯愛し続けることを誓います。それが私と円城寺の二人だけの結婚式だった。
お飲み物はいかがでしょうか？お茶にコーヒー。
すいません、コーヒーください。 先輩もコーヒーどうです？
ああ、私はまだお茶が残ってるから。炎上寺、いい加減その仏頂面なんとかしろ。子供じゃあるまいし、いつまで拗ねているつもりだ。せっかくの旅行なんだから。
二人っきりやろ、普通。しかもなんで会まで同じとこ泊まんねんな。結婚したんやで、わいらは。
声が大きい。
ハネムーンが台無しやんけ。
だからそういうことを大きな声で。
そやかてお預けのまんまやで。
それはお前の怪我に障るから。
もう感知しとるっちゅう。
この旅行は全て円城寺の父であり甲斐の父でもある嵯峨野氏のご好意によるものだった。初めてゆっくり二人で旅行気分を味わう予定だったが、私はこうなることをなんとなく予想していた。なぜならあの時、嵯峨野、ちょっと待て。
先輩。
そんなに急いで帰ることないのに。お父さんと会うの久しぶりなんだろ？
ええんです。どうせ顔見たら喧嘩ばっかしやし、喧嘩せんと会話もでけん親子なんです、俺らは。
私から見れば喧嘩できるだけ羨ましいけどな。
先輩のお父さんは？
私が幼い頃家を出て行ったきりだ。あまり父の記憶もないし。
あ、すんません。
いいんだ。そばにいるからこそもっと大切にしなきゃ罰が当たるぞ。
はーい。
私からも一つ聞いていいか？
何です？
その事件後荒木さんと何か気まずくなってないか？
なんで？そう見えます？
なんとなくだな。炎上寺を探すためとはいえ嵯峨野には無茶をさせてしまって荒木さんにもかなり迷惑をかけたし、そのことで二人が気まずくなっているのなら私もきちんと荒木さんに謝罪を。
先輩が謝る必要ないんです。今回の事件で無茶したのは確かですけど、そういうことやなくて、俺がガキやから。俺がいつまでたってもまさに子守りしてもらうとるガキやから、いい加減愛想つかされただけ。
喧嘩中と思われる嵯峨野と荒木氏、お連れの今川氏にすっかりへそを曲げてしまった炎上寺。気楽な小旅行のつもりが疲れる旅行になりそうな予感。私の不安をよそに新幹線は一路京都へと向かっていた。これが京都駅か。随分と大きいんだな。
はああ、しばらく帰らん間にえらい変わったな。あ、ここ見たことある。映画で愛ちゃんと怪獣が壊しとったとこやで。
アホくさ、ガキあるまいし。
何？
ホモのくせに何が愛ちゃんや、気色悪。
何やと。もっぺん言うてみ。まあ。
ハイヤーを呼んであります。どうぞこちらへ。
あ、俺先輩と一緒に乗る。
嵯峨野。
遠慮っちゅう言葉を知れ、しばくどガキ。
でも先輩、だってマサとは気まずいし。
荒木さん、炎上寺をお願いします。構いませんか？
え
え。ランちゃん。
ほな、鮫島さんの方には自分が乗ってご案内します。
お願いします。
ランちゃ
ん。では炎上寺さん、こちらへ。やってくれ。
店に来る女の子がよ、結婚した途端旦那が爪となったとか話しとったけど、まさかランちゃんそんなことないやろな。
どうかされましたか？
気にせんでください。何も話しまへ
ん。嬉しいな、先輩と一緒。
嵯峨野、この調子で旅行中ずっと逃げ回るつもりか？隠れ蓑になってやるにも限界があるぞ。
あ、今だけです。旅館に着いたら邪魔しませんから。ちょっと正面切って話しよう思ったら心の準備がいるもんで、今だけ俺に合わせてください。
だったら構わんが、嵯峨野、いっそ私が荒木さんの考えを教えてやれればいいんだが。そう、 あの時聞いた荒木さんの気持ちを。
お礼を言われるようなことをした覚えがありませんが。
いえ、私にはあります。荒木さんが止めてくださったおかげで私は人を切らずに済んだんですから。あのまま剣を振り下ろしていたら私は全てをなくしていました。あの時怒りのあまり我を忘れて狂気の剣に身を委ねてしまった。今はあの感覚に恐怖すら感じます。
それでいいんです。人を殺めること、暴力で傷つけることを恐れなくなったらおしまいです。あなたは決して何者にも汚すことのできない剣を振るうべき人です。傷つけるためではなく、戦い何かを守る剣、清く純粋な剣を持つべき人だと私は思います。あなたの剣が血に染まると悲しむ人がいますから。どうぞこれからも心穏やかに。
はい、ありがとうございます。
では。
出過ぎたことですが、佐賀の、いえ、海君の気持ちをどうか察してあげてください。今の彼はなんだか辛そうで。
鮫島さん、時折あなたとKさんが羨ましく思います。互いに依存することなく同等の位置に立ち、支え合いながら歩いてゆく。私には到底真似できません。私は彼に依存し、彼を蝕んでゆく人間です。彼の地位も誇りも何もかも食いつぶして飲み込んでゆく。
だからそうなる前に海君を手放したんですか？
そう格好のいいものではありませんよ。彼の無垢な愛情から怯えて逃げ回っている、ただの臆病な男です。
荒木さんは誰より何よりも佐賀野のことを強く思っている。その深い愛情が少しでもこの佐賀野に伝わっていればいいんだが。
ん？何ですの？
いや、早く仲直りができるといいな。
はい。
やっぱし頭と喧嘩しとったんですか、ボン。なんですの今回の原因は。
盗み聞きとは度胸やな、京介。
心配しとんのにひどい。
いらっしゃいませ。うわあ、懐かしいな。
趣があっていいところだな。
円城寺で予約を入れていたものだが。
へえ、伺っております。遠いとこようお越しやす。円城寺さんが使はった
ケイちゃん
おばちゃん、久しぶり。
ほんま全然顔も見せんとこの子は。蛍ちゃんによう似てきたね。
そればっかやな。耳にタコできるわ。
なんやの憎たらしい。大きなったん体だけかいな。
おかみ、ご案内を。
あら、ほんまやわ。すんません。ケイちゃんと鮫島様がこちら、荒木様と佐賀野様が。佐賀野の旦那はんの息子さんって。
あ、俺です。
そう、仲良してはるんですね。よかったわ、ほんまに。
ええ、もう仲良し小良しですね。Kお兄ちゃんと。
お兄ちゃん、気色悪。
ほな、お部屋ご案内しますわ。
おー、ええ感じ。
すぐお茶入れるし、ゆっくりしとってね。
あ、おおきにおばちゃん。で、
木と畳のいい香りがする。気に入った。
そらやがった。
お前の機嫌も治ったな。
そらそうや。今からが二人の時間なんやし、むくれとったらもったいないやんけ。
それが分かればよろしい。
そうや、ケイちゃん。お夕食何時頃運ぼうか。
もうちょっと後で。
人がいるの忘れてた。
ぬるめやけど長風呂にはちょうどやな。ランちゃん、 飯前に一っ風呂。なんや。もう浴衣着とんか
い。いいだろう別に。
ちゃう。先に風呂入ってから浴衣に着替えんねや。
先に風呂に入りたいなら入ればいいだろう。おかしなやつだな。
もうちゃうって。一緒に入ろう言うて。入ろう。風呂入ろうな。うちと違って広いねんで。岩の露天風呂やしや。
メガネなしで入るなら許す。
何も見るなっちゅうことかい。
当然だ。プロで変な気を起こさんようにな。
いけつ。
そうセクなバカ者。こんな機会はめったにないんだから。ゆったりしたキスもいいだろ。
わかった。いっぱいキスマークつけちゃう。
そうじゃなくてもうくすぐったい炎上し
感じた。
バカ。
先輩マサのやつ悔しい。
分かったから落ち着け。お前も落ち着け。炎上し。後で続きをしてやるからおとなしくそっちの部屋で待っていろ。
失礼しました。ごゆっくり。
さあとにかく落ち着いて話してみろ。旅館に到着したら仲直りする予定だったんだろ。
俺はそのつもりやったもん。せやのにマサのアホ俺がムカつくことばっかし言うしカッとなってもうて。
あのな佐賀野、自分の気持ちを正直にぶつけるのはいいと思うが荒木さんの立場も考えてみたか。
立場？
そうだ、お前を守ろうと構えておられる立場だ。その言動も軽はずみじゃない。何を言われたか知らんが決して意地悪で言われたわけじゃないだろう。思い通りの返事が得られなかったからといって安易に彼を責めるもんじゃない。
分かっとるけど俺は表向きの説教やなしにほんまの気持ちをまさに本音を言うてほしい。
本音か。それは難しいだろうな。
なんで？
その大人の男だから言葉を選んだり考え込むところがあるだろうと思って。
ややこしね大人って。
失礼します。ボンがこちらに。やっぱし
京介、
もう邪魔したら飽きまへんって。すんませんどうも。ほらはよお部屋に戻ってくださいよ。
言われんでも戻るわ。ガキ扱いすんな。
ほら失礼します。どないなったあの二人。
さあな、いっそどうかなってくれた方が私も楽なんだが。
食前の梅酒です。
うまー。懐かしいわこの味。
おいしい。さっぱりしてる。
こっちゃどんどん飲みなさい。
ケイちゃんこの梅酒好きやったもんね。中の梅全部食べて酔っ払って。
いつ頃のお話です？
小学校の頃よ。廊下で酔って寝こけててね。見たら梅酒の梅みんななくなってたんよ。
昔話はええっちゅうねん。あとは勝手にやるしええよ。
そう？ほななんぞあったら呼んでちょうだいね。どうぞごゆっくり。
さーてどんどん行ってみよう。
すごく下心を感じるぞ。
いいからいいからさぐーっと。よっランチャン日本へて。さ次行ってみよ
う。梅酒ってそんなに一気に飲むもんじゃないと思うが。
かめへんかめへん。わいは水代わりに飲んどったんやから。ほらクーッといきなさい。クーッと。 ランちゃん、ほんのりあこなってなんや色っぽいわ。
本当にうまいなこれ。おかわり。
はいはい、どうぞ。
おかわり。
ランちゃん、ちょっとペース早ないか。
おかわり。
もうちーっとゆっくりと飲んだ方が。
おかわり。
はい。ランちゃん、大丈夫か？
大丈夫だ。
そうか？
大丈夫だ。寝る。
そう、寝るってちょ待て！寝んな！こら！おっきい！ランマだ！
うるさい。
すいません。嘘やろ。ハネムーンの初夜やろ。あんまりや。
朝に露天風呂。贅沢の極みだな。うるさいのも寝てるし、すがすがしい朝だ。いいお湯だった。炎上寺、そろそろ起きろ。今日の夜眠れなくなるぞ。炎上寺、起きたか？
もう一回チューしてくれたら起きる。
ちょっと傷を見せてみろ。まだ残ってるな。痛みは？
ないです。全開して絶好調。
こら、あんまりきつくするな。跡が残る。
ええやん、残ったかて。
私は困るって言っちょっと。
いや、いいっす。
まるで子供だな。
そういうランちゃんは冷めすぎ。
冷めてるように見えるか？
見える。
中は熱いぞ。確かめるか？
確かめましょう。奥の奥まで。
失礼します。お布団あげさせてもらいます。
はい、お願いします。
またお預けや。おばちゃんが綺麗にしてくれてはるから。いじるとこないな。もっと荒れ放題かと思うとったけど。
ちゃんとお礼言っておけよ。
これでお線香もよしっと。ちょくちょくこれんで堪忍な、お母ちゃん。お母ちゃんびっくりしとるやろな。貝も来てくれたんかって。
まあそうやろな。敵みたいに思われとるやろうし。
ちゃうって。うちの知らんとこで兄弟仲良うしとるやないのって笑ってはるで、墓ん中で。
誰がいつ仲良うしたっちゅうんじゃ気色の悪い。
きっと懐かしがっておられる思います。
ん？
ボンも赤ん坊の頃に 何度か円城寺さんと会うてたみたいです。旅館の中井さんから聞きました。
そうなん？
ボンを兄弟に会わせてやりたいいう姉さんの願いから始まって、円城寺さんとは付き合いが続いてたそうです。
そういえば赤ん坊の前をワイが抱っこしとる写真遺品にあったわ。
俺もあるわ、お母ちゃんの遺品で。
そうそう、あの写真がなかったら兄弟だって気づいてなかったぞ。
いつか兄弟が仲良う会えるように、お二人の願いが込められた写真やったんでしょうね。
そういう願いが込められているなら、なおさら末永く兄弟は仲良くしないとな。分かったか、二人とも。
もちーっと可愛げがあったらな。
でっかい世話じゃ。
何？今日という今日は締めたら
望むところや。
こらこら、本当にもう。さて、私もちゃんと拝んでおこ
う。私もご挨拶させていただきましょう。
ご挨拶が遅れて申し訳ありません。私鮫島蘭丸はこの度 K 君と結婚いたしました。相手が私のような男で驚きになったと思いますが、でも私たちの気持ちに偽りはありません。より多くの幸せを築けるよう努力しますので、二人の仲をお許しください。荒木さん。
はい。
佐賀野が元気でよかったです。荒木さんが佐賀野を手放したようなことをおっしゃっていたから気になって、この旅行をきっかけにもっと二人の心が通じ合えたらいいと思っていたんです。
ご心配をおかけしたようですね。
いいえ、私なんてそんな。
そうですね。私は知らず知らずのうちにボンを傷つけているのかもしれません。ボンのために良かれと思ってしていることが、本当は彼を傷つける要因になっている。そう感じたとき、私は次に何をしてやればいいのかわからなくなる。
荒木さん。
何かすることで傷つけてしまうなら、いっそ離れてしまおうと考えていました。けれど、その度、私は引き止められてしまう。頼り切った子供の目で、ここにいろと訴えられると、離れることはできません。
彼はそれほど子供じゃないと思いますよ。与えられることだけに満足している子供ではないと思います。すいません、生意気なことを。い
え、確かに私はボンを子供扱いしすぎるところがありますから。
お墓参り無事済みました？
ええ、ついでに見物を。
今日はよう歩いたわ。
辻りにも行きまして。
まあそうですか。あのお店真夏になるとえらい行列ができるんですよ。お抹茶のかき氷が有名でね。あ、お夕食何時頃にしましょう。昨日と同じでええかしら？
ああ、同じでええわ。ビールもちょうだい。
はいはい、飲みすぎんようにね。ほな、ごゆっくり。
晩飯前に風呂入っとこっかな。
うん。
今うんちをだかなあ、うんって。
うん。中井さんが突然入ってきても困らない状態を作れるんなら、一緒に入ってやらんこともないぞ。
そらもう、ランちゃんに恥かかすようなことしまへんって。なあ、ランちゃん。そんな端っこおらんと、こっち来いや。
いいだろう、どこにいようが。
今さ、恥ずかしがったかって無駄やっちゃね。
やめろこら、まだ洗ってる最中だ。
十分きれいなった。
さっきの約束。
ん？
こんなところを見られたら困る。
お預けくろたらもっと困るやろ。 京都来る前から我慢しとったんや。限界ギリギリやで。なんちゃんは何もしたない？
これだけじらしてよくそんなことが言えるな。
したいってランちゃんから言うてほしいんや。
見てわかれ、バカ。
反応早いな。久しぶりやから燃える？
違
わんやろ。ああ、こんなのって
バカ。
わいも久しぶりやからな。感動やわ。肌の感触も喘ぎ声も新鮮で。
喋るな。ダメ。
どうやって？
そう触られると我慢が効かない。
何も我慢せんで。
私だけいいのは嫌なんだ。お前も一緒に感じてくれないと嫌だ。
もう辛抱たまらん。ギリギリまでこらえよう思とったのに。
危ない。
痛ないか？
熱くて溶けそう。
わいも。
ダメ、持たない。
はい。あかん。こらえって。あかんって。そんなに動いた。一緒に感じてくれ言うときながら先行くんやもんな。わいは釣られて絞り取られたって感じ。まあそんくらい夢中で求めてくれた方が嬉しいけどな。
まるで今までの私は求めてなかったような言い方だな。
ちゃうって。恥ずかしがる姿も可愛いけどエッチーやんちゃんも刺激的でええなってこと。
エッチー？
そうエッチーのエッチしたくてたまらんって感じの。
そうだな、今まさにそんな感じ。
ほんまに？
お前が欲しくてたまらない。クラクラする。
あいもクラクラ ありゃ
のせる
愛をのせる乾杯。体の水分全部抜けたかと思った。
のぼせた後によく酒なんか飲めるな。
一汗かいた後のビールは。
いやらしい笑い方。
いやらしいといえば、いやさっきのランちゃんこっつやらしかったな。貴様や新婚旅行なんやからたっぷりイチャつかんと損します。いやらしいも大歓迎。
しかし墓参りの後で不謹慎じゃないか。
逆やがな。結婚しました言うて報告しとんねんから、どんだけ幸せかお母ちゃんに見せつけたらんと安心しはらへんやろ。
相手が男の私だと知ってショックを受けていると思うが。
ランちゃんのお母ちゃん
そうだな。でもこればかりは誰にも止めようがないだろう。私自身出会った頃はこんなに好きになるとは思わなかったからな。
ランち
ゃん。なんだ
それって、今はランちゃんめちゃめちゃワイのこと好きって言う。
このバカ、頭の中までのぼせたのか。
痛い。
私がふざけて男と寝て、さらに結婚までして、こんな指輪までつけてると思ってるのか、貴様は。
思っておりません。いや、そうやなくて、今まで言うてくれたことなかった。改めて言葉にされるとええもんやなって。な、もっぺん言うてくれへん。ワイのこと好きって。
おやすみ。
待てこら、たった一言やないか。なんてそう頑固やの。
やかましい。私は寝るんだ。邪魔するな。
邪魔。そうでっか。
待て。こら、何を。こら、くすぐったいからやめ。もうすね方が意地悪くなってきてるぞお前。
いけずなランちゃんの方でしょ。体はこんだけ素直や。
バカ。
体の方は好き好き言うてんのにな。
言ってないバカ。ダメ、死体が汚れるって。
汚さんように我慢したらええやん。腰上げてやらしいな。ここも柔らかなって吸い付いてきよんで。
そこお前がいじるから。
ごっつ熱なってやけどしそうやな。
本当に意地悪い。
好きって言うてくれたら優しいで。
分かった。
言う気になった。
選択させてやろう。その1、私が一言折れて このままおとなしく寝る。
はい？
その2、何も強要せず朝まで私と熱いセックスをする。どちらか選べ。
自分勝手そのままやったら辛いやろが。
ああ、心配は無用だ。こうやってお前の手を想像しながら自分でいけるから。
ワイの手？その2を選びます。辛抱たまらん。
やはり私の方が意地が悪いかもな。焚きつけた私も悪いけど。
ランちゃん。
持たない。いきなりで飛ばしすぎだバカ。
なんや、もうギブアップかいな。
違う、そんなにしたらおかしくなる。
今夜くらいもっとおかしなって夢中になってもええやろ。なんぼでも言ってええよ。
ダメだ、本当に今日は受精が効かなくなる。
ええやん、特別の夜なんやし。
特別？
そう、特別の夜。羽も無我夢中に愛しようて当然でしょう。
そうだったな。特別の夜、それはもちろんだと思う。だが私にとって円城寺との夜はいつだって特別だ。誰も知らない私の姿を、私ですら知らない私の内側すべてをお前に預ける。私にとっては円城寺、お前そのものが特別なんだ。その日も朝から嵯峨野が私たちの部屋に飛び込んできた。立ちどころに不機嫌になる円城寺をよそに、嵯峨野は姿見とにらめっこを始めた。お前の部屋にも鏡くらいあるだろう。
うん、あるよ。
お前はよ帰れ、邪魔やの。
うっさいわボケ、黙っとれ。ねえねえ鮫島先輩、俺ってそんなにセックスアピールが足らんのかな。
は？
どないしたら先輩みたいな色気出せるんやろ。やっぱり肉付き悪いと触ってもおもろないと思うんやろか。
は？
お肉が足らんって田代も言うとったしな。あ、じゃあ飲ま。先輩も飲む？
嵯峨野、今度は一体何なんだ？
色気の研究。
いや、そうじゃなくて、荒木さんと一体何が。
そう、先輩聞いてくださいよ。マサのやつなんもせえへんねんよ。どない思う？
何が何も？
チューはした。うん。問題はそっから先やねん。そういう気ないんで無茶言われても困りますねって。うん、俺を何やろ思てんねやろ。
いつの間にそんな展開に。
昨日やっとお互い好きって言うてん。けど特に何かが変わった感じはあらへんな。昔に戻っただけかも。はい、どうぞ。
ありがと
う。わいの
知るか、自分でせ。
そうだな。そればかりは私ではどうにも。つまり荒木さんが嵯峨野にそういう欲を出せるのかどうか。
貝見てか？普通チンコ立たへんやろ。
下品な言い方をするな。
うわや！
黙っとれボケ。どっかいんでまい。
炎上寺ハウス。
わいは犬か。青草、散歩してこよう。
行ってこい。もう帰ってくんなよ。 はあ、俺も先輩くらい色気あったら迫りまくって落とせるんやろうけどな。
いや、そういう問題じゃないと思うぞ。
でも色気ないよりあった方がええでしょ。
どんなところに色気を感じるかは個人差があるからな。好きになれば他人には何でもない部分に色気を感じるものだし。荒木さんはお前のことを何て言ってた？
大事すぎて困ってるって言うてた。
大きな愛情だな。いいじゃないか、大事にされて。
そらそうやけど壊れもんみたいに扱われんの嫌や。もっとマサに近づきたい。キスもなだめるキスやない。恋人のキスが欲しい。これって贅沢なんかな。
愛情をねだるばかりじゃダメだぞ。互いに与え合って初めてバランスが取れるんだから。
与え合う。
お前は一人で走りすぎるんだ。少し立ち止まって相手の歩幅に合わせないとな。
歩幅を合わせるか。
そうだ、これから映画村と嵐山まで行くんだが、一緒に行ってみるか。荒木さんも誘って。これが映画村か。
うわー、時代劇や時代劇や恨み晴らします、必殺仕事人。
ようテレビ見てましたもんね。
うわーってなんで俺が切られ役やね
ん。やかましいわ。ちょろちょろついて回りよって。
つい乗るところが関西人だな、二人とも。
ええねん、暇なんやし。
わいは今ランちゃんとハネムーンの真っ最中なんや。なのになんやねん、みんなでゾロゾロゾロゾロ。これは遠足と変わらへんな。
楽しくていいじゃないか。
あ、ここお知らせや。
昔の裁判所ですね。
ほな、わいがさばいたる。この桜吹雪が目に入らねえか。
先越された。
佐賀の会、その方、円城寺鮫島夫婦の蜜月をことごとく妨害。わいのささやかな幸せを踏みにじった罪は実に許しがたい。よって、内首獄門に処す、へったてー。
恥ずかしいから置いてくぞ、本当に。いいな、たまにはこういうのも。
映画村に嵐山って、小学校以来やけど、変わらへんな。
いいところだな。昔ながらの風情があって。修学旅行で寺巡りはしたけど、ここまでは来なかったし。
せやな、ここらまでは遠いもんな。
穏やかで満ち足りた時間っていうのはこういう時を言うんだな。本当に来てよかった。
せやな、ランちゃんが喜んでくれたらわいも嬉しいわ。まだいろんなとこ行こうな、時間作って。
うん、そうだな。
二人きりで。
分かった。愛情をねだるばかりではなく、互いに与え合って初めてバランスが取れる。佐賀野にそう言いながらも、私は自分のことを思い返していた。私もうまく円城寺に歩幅を合わせられているのだろうか。
おい。ん？今会のこと考えとったやろ。
なんでわかるんだ？
もうええわい！寝る！
拗ねてるのか？
拗ねてへんわい！
円城寺。
あ、いやいや、こそばやんか！
お前がいつもやってることだぞ。
ランちゃん？
そうか。お前が眠いんなら仕方がない。おとなしく寝るか。
寝るって散々誘惑しといてそうないからか。
だんだんお前を煽るコツがつかめてきたぞ。
わい以外にこんな際どい誘惑しいなや。
するか、バカ者。 そう。意外と歩幅は合っているかもしれない。円城寺は私の全てを満たしてくれる。私もできる限り彼を満たしてあげたい。今私と円城寺の生活は全てが満たされていると、そう確信した。満たされた思いはあらゆる恐怖を払拭してくれる。円城寺の愛は今私の心の隅にあるたった一つの恐れから私自身を解き放とうとしていた。
気持ちいいわ。たまには穴の中ほじくられる方もええもんやな。
バカ、ややこしい言い方するな。ただの耳掃除だろう。ほら動くな、危ない。
せやがてこそばや。
お前がしてくれって言ったんだぞ。あ、手応えあり。動くなよ。よしよし、もうちょっと。
失礼します。
はい。
いや
おはようございます。
荒木さん、その格好もしかしてお帰りになるんですか？
はい。最後まで音もできず心苦しいのですが。
じゃあ佐賀野も一緒に。
いいえ、お二人はどうぞ心ゆくまでご滞在ください。お上の方へは私からよく申し伝えておきますので。
でも。
それではごゆっくり。
荒木さ
ん。円城寺さん。
荒木さん、その会がなんか。
いえ、私の仕事の都合で先に急にバタバタと申し訳ありません。
そうですか。大変ですね。
円城寺さん、離れとるとなかなか顔も見れません。ボンに何かあった時はいつでも構いません。どうか私にご連絡いただけますか？
わかりました。
すいません。よろしゅうお願いいたします。
なんかあった時か。
私だ。入るぞ。佐賀野、荒木さん帰ったぞ。見送らなくてよかったのか？
先輩、俺先輩にちゃんと謝ったことなかったよね。
謝るって何をだ？
前に先輩を無理やり抱いてしもたこと。
いきなりそんな昔のこと言われても。それにあれを除けば結果的に私は助けてもらったわけだし。
謝って済むことやないんやけど、ほんまにすんません。
佐賀野、
どう言うてみたかて、あんなん暴力以外の何もんでもないでしょ。強姦された言うても男なんやから大したことあれへんって。そんなん実際経験したこともないやつの詭弁や。自由奪われて体二つに裂かれたみたいになって、息が詰まって死にそうやのに気も失えへん。体だけやない、心もズタズタに切られるあんな最低の行為、どんだけ傷つくか。俺知っとったくせに同じこと先輩に。
佐賀野、お前
どないしたら忘れられる？どないしたら何でもなかったって話せるようになる？どないしたら先輩みたいに乗り越えて強なれるん？
佐賀野、
あんなこと思い出して違うのに、あんな暴力とちゃうのに、一番大事な人の手やのに怖いんや。どないしよう、俺マサのこと傷つけてしまった。
荒木さんはそこまで器の小さい人ではないだろう。佐賀野、荒木さんの手を拒んだわけじゃない。別の何かが原因だと察していると思うが、どうだ？
多分分かっとると思う。 俺がやられた後助けに来たんマサやし、相手もマサの知り合いやったから、きっとマサの方が俺より傷ついたと思う。昔のことを思い出して、顔には出さへんけどあいつ自分責めてると思う。何もかんも背負い込む癖あるから。
佐賀の
俺あいつに逃げんなって言うといて、追い詰めて苦しめることばっかしやってもうとる。俺が近づこうとすればするほどあいつが傷だらけになっていくような気する。あかんのかな。俺がそばにおったらあかんのかもな。
まったくつくづく似た者同士なんだな、お前と荒木さんは。二人して同じことを言ってるぞ。そばにいれば傷つけたと自責の念に駆られて互いに離れようとする。相手を思いやるのも大切だが、時にはなりふり構わず言葉にして伝える。多少乱暴な言葉であっても伝わらないよりはいいんだ。辛い時に辛い、苦しい時に苦しいと伝えるのは決して恥ずかしいことじゃない。弱さを見せ合ってこそ互いに強く支え合う力が生まれるんだ。
互いに支え合う力。
お前が強くなれば荒木さんも強くなる。お前が泣くと荒木さんも辛い。荒木さんと共に歩みたいと願うなら、もっと心も体も強くならねばな。私の知っている佐賀の会は決して弱くないと信じているぞ。数々の強豪を打ち負かして剣道日本一になったほどの男なんだからな。
はい、すいません、みっともないとこ見せて。
私もそろそろ逃げるのはやめにしようと思っていたところだ。
逃げる？一体何から？
自分自身からな。私も強くありたい。剣道にも自分にも。
先輩、それってもしかして。
迷う前にもう一度竹刀を振ってみようと思っている。
ほんまに？じゃあまた大会にも？
いや、そこまで飛躍して考えてはいない。ブランクが長すぎたしな。
大丈夫ですよ、先輩やったらすぐ現役復帰できますよ。
無茶を言ってくれるな。一度は動かないと言われたこの体だ。まともに竹刀が触れるかどうかもわからん。筋肉も落ちたしスタミナもない。一からの出直しになるからな。
でも
期待するな。昔の私とは違うんだから。竹刀を握り、そして見極めたいだけなんだ。私がこの先進むべき道を。剣が私を導いてくれる。そんな気がするだけだ。
鮫島先輩、俺お願いがあります。一度だけで構いません。先輩と試合させてください。先輩が表舞台まで出る気ない言わはるんでしたら非公式で構いません。どうか一度だけ先輩と剣を交えるチャンスをください。全国大会で先輩を見た時からずっと俺の目標やったんです。夢やったんです。
試合にならんぞ。こう力量の差がはっきりとしていては。
分かってます。俺まともな試合できるよう猛練習しますから。
いや、お前ではなくて私が。今は素人同然で。
どうかお願いします。一度だけ。
ハンデはつけてくれるんだろうな。日本一のお前とまともに竹刀も触れないような素人との対戦なんだから。
いいえ、白面の鬼と呼ばれた剣士に失礼のないよう全力で戦わせていただきます。
ほな、わいは立ち会い人でもやろうが。
炎上寺、お前いつからそこに？
さて、
どこまで盗み聞きしとったんじゃこの変態。
面構えや。ガキは元気が一番やで。
アホにかまとる時間ないわ。どけ。さて、はよ帰って猛特訓や。
私も猛特訓が必要だな。佐賀野に一矢を報いる覚悟で挑まねば。
せやなってまさかもう帰るんかい。
当然だ。時間がいくらあっても足りないぞ。まず実家に戻っておじい様に報告して。
いや、待って。ランチャー今新婚旅行中って分かっとんの？
分かってるぞ。
もちっとハネムーンの時間を楽しもうとか思えへんの？
十分すぎて私は寝不足だ。腰ばかりだるいし、変な筋肉痛だし。
せやから、そういうんがハネムーンの醍醐味やろ？なあ、なるべく体に負担かけんようなん考えるから。
お前、立ち会い人になると言ったな。対戦前にスタミナをつける。私が無様な負け方をしないように、協力してくれるな。
は？はい？やっぱわい、剣道嫌いや。
お世話になりました。
寂しいわ。みんな帰ってしまわはるやなんて。またゆっくり来とくれやすね。
はい。ぜひ。
ケイちゃんも体に気ぃつけて。
ああ。おばちゃんも気ぃつけてな。ほなな。あっちゅう間の私服やったな。
未練がましいやつだな。これ以上贅沢してみろ。バチが当たるぞ。
別に残っとってもよかったのに、変ですか？
いいんだ。相良さんのご好意にこれ以上甘えるわけにはいかないからな。
甘えてもうて喜んどるんですよ、あの親父は。また来ましょうね。今度は長期滞在で。
こらこら。
それはええ話じゃな。
お前まで贅沢な。この様子だと、きっと相良は立ち直ることができるだろう。私との試合がその励みになればと思う。しかし、この試合は私が立ち直るためのものでもある。今まで逃げていた自分に勝つために、自分の力を取り戻すために。
Life sometimes, you know, you have this little portal on your phone that brings you some joy and some happiness and some beautiful shiny colors and some cool artwork and some friends, and I guess I want to protect that.
I play chess on stream occasionally, Space, by the way. Yeah, I do want to protect that too. That's the thing. Like, I speak up as much as I do. I speak up to the developers. I directly reach out to some of them, you know, and I give my takes. And I try and tell them, like, this is what we need. This is what would be good. You know, I do it out of, like, a place of genuinely wanting to help the game, genuinely wanting the game to succeed. And I try and actually, like I want to see Marvel Snap have a bright future. But it's just, like, I feel like they just constantly shut it down, shoot themselves in the foot, and then just count their money, you know?
To some extent, you know, it's sad to me that it does often just boil down to business decisions and so much.
No, I feel heard by the people that don't have the power to make decisions. That's the thing. The people who care at Second Dinner are the people who are not in power. That's the problem. A lot of people that, like, have a lot of the good intentions are not the people making that final decision. Mogder, thank you for the Prime.
Much of what probably Marvel Snap is doing behind the scenes is just thinking about things from a business standpoint, which, yeah, it's a business, I get it, but it's also kind of sad that it feels like they're willing to maybe just throw all this away, all this just honest, earnest engagement and passion and excitement for the game in exchange for, you know, $100 card or whatever. So, in some ways, if I thought, hey, the game needs this to be solvent, you know, like, hey, they are literally going to go out of business if they don't sell Kid Omega for $100, I think I would be more okay with it, right? I'd be like, okay, look, they're just protecting people's investments. It sucks. Like, I'm sure.
See, even if they said that, like, they would just be wrong, is the thing. If they're like, the only way we can make this amount of money is to sell this for $100, there's something called price theory, you know? It's like, if you make something too expensive, less people buy it and you make less total money, you know? Have they ever heard of that? Have they ever heard that if you actually make something, there is an optimal price to make the optimal amount of revenue? And they just don't seem to believe in reducing pricing. They think that people will just pay whatever price. They don't believe that more people will buy it if it's cheaper. They don't think that if your money goes further, that more people will spend money for some reason. Like, what kind of metrics are they looking at over there where they think that they have to be charging these prices, because obviously there probably there's whales out there that have like pricing doesn't matter to them, then they'll pay whatever the price is, and they seem to be monetizing purely around those whales and not taking into account anyone else. Yo, SP Dagger, thank you for the prime. Thank you for the 26 months. Thank you so much.
They could have done it more efficiently. They could have had a smaller team. There's so many things they could have done. But I think I'd be more sympathetic to it, right? I don't believe that. They just got $100 million in investment a year ago. Like a year and a half ago, whatever, right? I don't think they burned through $100 million in a year. They probably burned through a lot of it, to be honest, with the size of the team and the compensation packages and stuff. I'm sure they burned through a lot of it, honestly. But I don't think they need to sell a $100 card to be solvent or to even...
There's no... All right, how many people do you think work at Second Dinner? Like, it can't be more than 200 people, I feel like. Like, do they have, like, a... Can we go look at their page real quick? Like, there's almost no way... They used to have a thing where it showed their team, but it's grown too big, probably. Their website has a little button for Marvel Snap now. But it's just like, I feel like they gotta have like 100 people. Like if they paid 100 people on average, let's say $200K a year, which is probably more than the average that they're paying people over there, because like most people aren't directors and whatever. Like you have 100 people, 200K, right? How much money is that? That's 20 mil a year. That's got to be more than they're spending. 20 mil in 1 year. So they spend 1/5 of their 100 mil on their employees. Tops, I think. You know? There's no way they're spending more than that, in my opinion. Because I was overestimating, you know, just to make it so that we could just say like what the top end is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that they've got plenty of money in the bank, you know? Like on top, like they've got a long runway. Like license costs money too. Yeah, sure. I actually don't know how the license, what type of deal they've worked out. Like if it's just like they have certain payments they have to pay, or if it's a percent based or what. I have no idea what they're paying for that. Like if they just pay like a $15 million a year, or like $50 million a year for it, who knows what it is. I have no idea what they're doing. I've never had to pay for licensing. Like all the companies I worked for had their own IP, so I actually don't know what. I've never dealt with IP licensing in my professional experience.
And perhaps be profitable, but you know, I'm not going to get back into the business side of it too much. So, I don't know. I guess that's why I care. I guess that's why, like, you know, people say, why do you care?
You think it's a license percentage base? It sounds like it's more likely they're paying like a quarterly, yearly fee or whatever for the license. Like they're having to make payments. I don't think it's a percentage base. I think it is just like they're paying a certain amount every X amount of time. But I don't know at all. It could be both, you know. Who knows?
It's a business. If they want to sell a card for $100, why can't they? They can, but that's why I care about it. Like I worry it's going to drive people away from the game. I worry it's going to burn people out. I worry it's going to make people regret the time and the fun and the passion and the commitment they've invested in Marvel Snap. And I think that sucks. That's why I care. I think that's why it's bad. I think that's why it's annoying. Like, I think all these little things and medium-sized things and occasionally big things, I mean, I think they really add up to sour people's relationship with the game. And I will say, like, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years. We've seen this time and time again in Marvel Snap and in Hearthstone, you know, for the games I've played. To give it some context, like, Hearthstone had some moments that were much worse. You know, Hearthstone had some, like, actual real-life sucky stuff. Like,
I don't think I don't think Hearthstone had many worse moments monetization-wise. I don't think they really did too much. Like, I think Marvel Snap has gone much, much further monetization-wise than Hearthstone. Like, and if the things that Marvel Snap was doing, they did in Hearthstone, the outrage would be tenfold, you know? Like, that's the thing. I think the stuff that Hearthstone did poorly was in regards to, like, other things, you know? Like, obviously, like, they, like, had layoffs. They, like, got rid of esports. They had the whole Hong Kong thing that went down. You know, there was a bunch of stuff that was like some bad thing, like, and obviously like all the bad stuff that happened at Blizzard, you know, like sexual harassment and all that stuff that went down, you know. Senior design director, specific staff on LinkedIn is 2050. Yeah, I understand that the like senior engineers are 150-95. That's why I say 200K is on average going to be much above the average person that they're hiring at second dinner. Because like their top person's going to be above 200k, but most of the people are going to be under 200k. Let's see. They didn't have duplicate protection on legendary epic cards at first. Yeah. But even still, all those things that Hearthstone had, like they didn't have all the protection, all these things, it's still cheaper than Marvel Snap. That's the thing. All their problems that Hearthstone's had, it's still cheaper. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if they locked cards behind a timed paywall where you can only get it if you paid, people would flip their shit, you know? They don't have that in Hearthstone. Every single card you can acquire through free-to-play means, you know? I played Hearthstone for 9 years. It was never remotely close to as bad as secondary relation to monetization. Yeah, exactly. I played Hearthstone also since Goblins vs. Gnomes all the way up into I think 𝔹𝕃ℂ𝔻was when I quit officially. So it's like I played all those times. I worked there as well, saw the inside sauce that was going down. You know, I did the financial side and the design side. So it's like, I can tell you right now, Hearthstone was not nearly as bad as Marvel Snap in any way. Yeah, Hearthstone monetization, I would trade in a heartbeat for, to put it in place of what we have at second dinner, on Marvel Snap, you know?
Giant sexual harassment lawsuit, you know, there were like
really
awful, miserable things in Hearthstone we had to talk about and overcome. And, you know,
to be fair, Hearthstone was probably one of the better teams that didn't have as many of the problems as other teams in regards to a lot of that stuff at Blizzard. Like, a lot of that stuff was on other teams.
This is just a $100 card at the end of the day, so yes, the stakes kind of feel lower in some ways, but I do still think it's important. I still think it matters, and I think it's scary that this could push people away from the game and could inevitably and eventually, you know, hurt Marvel Snap's long-term potential to be something people love. So, yeah, I don't know. On that note, I guess, what can we do from here? I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Regis here. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I'm genuinely, like, very much highly considering trying to find a new game, you know? Like, I've been poking around but I might be poking a little bit harder, you know? It's just like, it's one of those things that, like, I'm not saying I'm going to quit Marvel Snap, but it's like, I can see the beginning of the end, and I know that it's like, I don't see it being a forever sustainable thing, you know? Like, I don't have much hope, you know? Like, I think that they need to make some major changes, and I don't think we can have those major changes take a year like they did with Snap Hacks, like a year plus. Like they said, oh, monetization thing's coming, and a year later they came out with it, you know? It's like, and it wasn't really that big of a change, to be honest. It was like, they really didn't reduce things by that much. Like, that's the big thing. Like, when they say they are going to make these changes, they need to be quicker. They need to say this is a high priority, and they need to actually just make the changes, you know? Stop all purchases is the top post. Yeah, literally, I agree. I've also said I have stopped all but the season pass. That's the thing. Like, and I'm considering not buying the season pass, you know? As a content creator, that would suck to not be able to, like, show the new stuff. Because, like, that's what you guys show up for, you know? People show up to see the new stuff. And if I don't have the new stuff, like, are people going to continue to show up? I don't know. But it's like, are people going to even care about Marvel Snap? Because they're quitting Marvel Snap, too. So, who knows about that?
As I mentioned, you know, I've tried so hard to communicate with the Marvel Snap team to level the game in a way that's healthy for players. And it's not just me. Tons of other creators have been standing up for you guys, too. I've seen almost no creators, you know, not go to bat for the players. There are...
Oh, Raven's here. Raven, you missed it. We just talked about your favorite Hearthstone controversies.
Sometimes I see people going more to bat for second dinner, which it's fine to have some devil's advocates here and there, right? But pretty much everybody always is really standing up for you guys, which is cool to see. But it hasn't gotten us anywhere, and I honestly don't really see that changing. I've talked about before, like, I just don't have a great relationship with second dinner at all. I for years basically didn't talk to anybody. I would just leave these long blind messages in a Discord group and they wouldn't get acknowledged that anybody ever saw them. Other creators would acknowledge it. They were like, yes, Regis, thank you. You're saying great things. I was like, yes, cool. I said something.
That is exactly what happens. You know, it's just Regis says good post. All the creators are like, yeah, we agree. We stand with Regis. What Regis said was really great. You know, blah, blah, blah. You just got done watching the video. We're almost done. We got another, what is this, 7 minutes?
Great, but nobody from Second Dinner would really ever acknowledge it. I guess it's gotten a little better lately. Like I'll get a little, you know, smiley face or something on it, or a little.
Yeah, little they just do a react, and it's the people who don't actually, you know, have any power that do the reaction. You know, it's just like community manager. You know,
a little note that it was seen or something, but it never really seems like it made an impact or anything. At least not notably or visibly to us. So I don't really think that got me anywhere. I've been vocal on it publicly as well. You guys know I've made these sorts of videos every once in a while when something like this pops up, just talking about how much it sucks, how annoying it is. I mean, I was like the first person who came out and said this game is outrageously priced in a video anyway. Like I made that video talking about how I spent $2,700 to get every card in Marvel Snap, which that was years ago. So God knows it's much more now.
He only spent $2,700. Man, I think, was he playing since day one? Because like I spent way more than that to get every card in Marvel Snap. Because like I was the first person to get all the cards in Marvel Snap, and I spent the maximum that I could to be able to get all the cards first. To be fair, they did make it cheaper after I did that. So it's like I spent the most that anyone could have spent because they made it cheaper. So it was years ago. Well, that's the thing. Like he must have like not spent as much as I did at the very, very beginning, because they made the change a couple months after I got all the cards.
But you know, it was a kind of a big stand. I think probably got me some hate from Second Dinner a little bit. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like I haven't really worked with Second Dinner ever over the last year or two.
To be fair, most creators haven't, you know? There hasn't been many opportunities to work with Second Dinner on anything, really. They haven't really done any creator things. Like, they only recently did these 2 tournaments, and that was just because there's new people pushing for these sort of things at Second Dinner. Like, they haven't had anyone who cared about doing any sort of creator type things. Like, they did do like the once a month, or well, I don't know if it was a week or once a month, they would have a creator on their channel do a YouTube video, which that is like, it is a paid thing that they would do. They would pay a creator to do it, but it's like not a very large rate. It's like not terrible. They're not super short selling, but someone like Regis would make more on his video than he would doing that video on their channel, you know? Like, that's the only time that I've seen them like really work with creators regularly. I don't even know if they're still doing that. I haven't really paid attention. But I do think that there hasn't been any sort of other creator outreach or creator events or creator things that have gone on since the last Conquerors event, I think, was the last one, you know? And I feel like now they're going the way of the Golden Gauntlet, which is just like, instead of doing Conquerors event, it's a cheaper way for them to do these Conquerors events, right? So the other events have been done for like big releases. Like, they do them as marketing events, right? Like, they do it because they have something new coming out that they want to market, so they pay creators in a way to be able to market their event. Golden Gauntlet is a great way for them to just market the competitive community and give back in a way, but they do it in very, very low investment. They don't really pay many people much for that event, you know, and they give in-game resources for the winners, you know, so it's really not a big ask for them. But yeah, they haven't really worked with creators much.
So I don't know. Sometimes you think speaking out, you know, costs you opportunities or whatever. I don't know if that's totally true, because I think some people have gotten opportunities that were also vocal about bad things.
I have definitely gotten opportunities after being vocal. That's the thing. Like, I have been involved in like the Conquerors events, and I've done the videos on their channel after being vocal. But that's the thing. Like, I do think that if the people who are over monetization had their way, I would not be getting these opportunities. You know, I think it's because of relationships with well, my size is one thing, obviously, but obviously I think just my relationships with the community manager side and that side has given me these opportunities, not because like I used to talk with some of the monetization people on the regular, like in DMs, you know, but they since the incident that I talked about yesterday, they had not regularly talked to me. You know, that dried up, you know, because it soured the relationship, you know. But yeah.
That said, I was actually in conversations with Marvel Snap to do a thing, like to do an official Marvel Snap thing. We were literally in the final negotiations to do a thing, and this week I turned him down. I just can't.
Oh, wow,
just didn't
really?
feel right about being an official representative of the game right now. I told him to cancel the thing. We're not doing it. I don't know.
Was this some marketing thing?
I was totally gonna go through anyway, but it just didn't feel right. So now I flipped the script. I don't know. So listen, I don't know what to do.
I really respect Regis for turning, like, obviously they would pay him to do whatever they were doing, you know, and he said he didn't even know if it was going to go all the way through, but who knows how much they were paying him. But obviously, Second Dinner has been pretty low-bally on almost everything. There's only been one event where I feel like I got paid a decent rate, and it was during Twitch drops, you know. So it's like, that's the only time that I felt like they actually did right by me in terms of, like, actually paying and doing right by other creators, too. It's like, I feel like they do lowball and they really try to not spend a lot of money on their creators, where like in other spaces, other people, like Marvel Rivals, to be fair, Marvel Rivals has paid me, I think, more than Second Dinner has paid me. Like, I stream Marvel Rivals, I'm in their creator program, and they paid me more, I think, than Second Dinner has paid me. That's the thing, like, I've barely streamed that game, you know? And they just pay me to stream it. That's the thing. Like, that is insane, you know? Like, I barely streamed it, and they, like, just being in the creator program, they just pay their creators who are in the creator program to just stream the game. They just give them money. That's the thing. That's how, like, good of a program that is. Marvel Rivals is great. Like, they do right by the creators. Like, if you just stream a certain number of hours, you get money. It's just, like, that simple. It's, like, money in this economy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Marvel Snap could easily do that. Like, I have not very good viewership in Marvel Rivals, and they pay me. I get 10 times the viewership. Not 10 times, but I did used to get 10 times the viewership. What I got in Marvel Rivals in Marvel Snap, and they gave me jack all, you know? I've been showing off their card every week since the beginning of the game. I've been marketing their game for them every single day, and they don't do right by the creators. They don't do right by the community. They're just taking and pocketing all their money, and where's it going? To Marvel? Probably some of it, you know, but I don't know what they're doing. They just, like, I really don't know what they're doing.
You know, I've seen people, like, asking for boycott.
Yeah, we get 2K gold a month. That's what we get. And then they do give us advance notice on some things, you know? Not everything.
And stuff of Kid Omega or otherwise, like not buying the season pass or whatever. I think that's really noble. I think that's really cool, trying to speak with your wallet. I'm not confident it's going to move the needle for Second Dinner. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to discourage that, because I think it's really cool to do. But I think, unfortunately, most of the people who are mad, and like most people we see on Discord and Reddit and in the YouTube comments and stuff, I think they're mostly free to play players or you know, light spenders anyway, and you know, most of them changing their behavior or
I've seen a lot of whales that are mad too. That's the thing. I think, like, the Kid Omega thing is a thing to get whales upset because of exactly what I said. It's circumventing your tokens. Like, it's a way to make even whales spend more money. Like, people who spend a lot of money in this game are getting burnt out. They've had to, like, whales aren't just the people who buy every single variant that comes in the shop. Whales are the people who buy every single card that comes out in the game, you know? Like, if you're spending $200 a month on this game, you're a whale, for sure. If you're spending $200 every 2 or 3 months, you should be considered a whale. That's the thing. Like, whales, like, in Hearthstone, we considered a whale someone who spent $200 in expansion plus. Once you broke that $200 mark, you were a whale, you know? Like up to before that, you're just like someone who did like the pre-purchase. But once you buy more than just the pre-purchase and you've bought stuff on top of it, you're someone who's buying a lot, you know?
Continuing to not spend is not actually something that moves the needle or is particularly noticeable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Whales aren't only mad about the Kid Omega thing specifically. It's about the constant disrespect from the monetization team and how they treat their players and how they treat us, not like people, not like players, but like just wallets that all they want is our money.
I think you'd have to like kill the whale spending, the very, very top end. I just don't think they're likely to do that. I'm sure there will be some, again, greatly.
Did you guys use the term whale officially, like it means stuff? Well, the people who made up these categorizations were my team. So it's like, when you were categorizing the players, we'd create player cohorts and payer cohorts, and we got to come up with the names. Like I made the cohorts for engaged users, so I came up with these names. I called them occasional users. I called them, there was occasional, which was the lowest one. There was casual, which was the next lowest one. And then I had core and hardcore. And that was my 4 main groups of people. So occasional people are the people who like pop in from time to time. Casual are the people who are like just casually playing like every day, like maybe an hour or so, you know, like I had exact breakoffs for all these when I did this analysis and broke it all off. And then you had the core player, which are like your main group of people that are just like constantly playing your game and really engaging. And then you have the hardcore who are like really, really engaged that are actually the majority of your player hours, you know?
Appreciated, very noble to.
And then you have that for like my coworker at the time. She came up with a payer breakdown. I don't know if we used the term whale. We might have. I think she might have used like big spender as with the official term.
To stop spending. I think probably most whales liked that Kid Omega was expensive and good because it made it more exclusive and it gave them a chance to win a little extra, you know? I think they probably...
I do think there is probably a group of people that do think exactly what he's saying, that like they like the exclusivity and the ability to buy their way, pay to win in the most extreme sense, you know, like pay for a good card that they can show off and have be exclusive. There are going to be people out there like that, but I think it's going to be such a small minority of people, and it leaves such a bad taste in everyone else's mouth that it's not at all worth trying to cater to those people at all.
Enjoyed benefiting from the pay-to-win aspect of Kid Omega, which...
I feel like Cozy's going to go off. Yeah, Cozy, since he's completely out of Marvel Snap, essentially, like, I think he can just speak his mind the most freely. You know, I'm speaking my mind very, very freely, you know, like I'm speaking like that Marvel Snap's dead tomorrow, you know, like I'm not holding anything back. But it's like Cozy also has no incentive, you know. Regis does have some incentive, even though he said he doesn't. Like, he will be fine, but he will be much worse off if Marvel Snap shut down tomorrow, you know? Like, it would suck for him. For Cozy, it would not really suck at all. It would kind of be better for him if Marvel Snap shut down tomorrow because more people would go to Rivals, you know?
I don't actually begrudge them for that either, honestly. Like, yes, it would be super cool if they didn't buy it and made a statement. Like, obviously that would be super cool, but I also can't be mad at them for it. They're not the ones pricing the card at $100, you know? If that's within their means, I think it's okay for them to do it. I know some of you will disagree with that, and some of you think that they should boycott it. And
when did Cozy leave Snap? He left when Marvel Rivals came out, but he still does a Snapchat every week with Alex Kocha. So they both still do the Snapchat every week. So he's still releasing one Marvel Snap video a week, and he keeps up with it as much as he needs to be able to do that.
And again, I think that would be awesome if they did. I would encourage that, but I also can't be mad at them for engaging in the system as it was made. I think I've actually seen a lot of people blaming the wrong people, getting mad at other players, getting mad at streamers. I think you should just direct all of that.
Wait, who's getting mad at streamers? Oh, actually, I did see people get mad at streamers. Never mind. Some people got mad at, like, KBS got mad at Regis for, like, buying the card, you know, and be like, why are you supporting this and doing the card? It's the same guy in chat earlier that was saying, well, if you guys are so upset about this, why are you guys still supporting Marvel Snap and promoting the game and whatever, you know? It's like, because that's our job, you know, that's what we're doing, you know? Like, we like to play the game, and we're having to play it despite how many bad monetization choices they're making. Like, we can't always just not, you know, do the thing because, like, they're making, like, 1 or 2 people on the Marvel Snap team are making these bad monetization choices, you know? Like, that's the thing. Like, I didn't buy Kid Omega. I'm sure if I did, I would get some flack, but I actually think I would get less flack than, like, KM and Regis got. Like, you guys wouldn't be so mad at me for buying Kid Omega, you know? But it's like, I think I would still get some flack, but I still would push back on the pricing or whatever, you know? People can't understand the compromises you have to make. Yeah, we do have to make some. I had people tell me to quit casting Hearthstone because of the Hong Kong thing. Yeah, people will always tell you to make a moral stand. And it's one of those things that's like, a lot of times it's not like a choice of like, okay, this one person at this 100-person company made this bad decision. You should take a stand against this 100-person company because they did the thing. People don't understand that it's not a monolith. It's not one big thing. There's always people pushing from all different sides to try and get the right thing done. And if you just give up on it entirely and you're not there to have your voice heard, like me, if I had quit Marvel Snap a year ago, I wouldn't be saying this right now. And maybe someone at Second Dinner is listening right now, and maybe they're taking it to heart and they're actually listening and thinking, hey, maybe we should do something to do right by the players. Maybe I will go speak to the monetization team and be like, hey, I'm at work here, and I think what we're doing is going to kill the game. I've been looking at all the feedback, and I think I've been looking at the metrics, and our player base is going down, you know? It's easy to tell people what to do when you don't have any actual deal with the consequences. Yeah, it is. That happens a lot. Do you think Second Dinner has their sights on new games projects? Yeah, they do. They definitely do, because they've been working on these new games for what, like 2 years now already? Like, they've been in the works. At least a year and a half, I think, is when we first saw the job posting go up. So, like, I would expect an announcement in like 2 years from now about their next new game that they're going to be coming out with. And you know what? I probably won't be around to support it.
That energy to Second Dinner, right? They're the ones who created all this. They're the ones who put us in this world. How people interact with the really shitty systems that Second Dinner made. I'm not going to begrudge people for that or hold it against them. I'm going to hold the really shitty systems that were made. That's what I'm taking to task here. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's some boycotts and stuff. I hope Second Dinner sees the light of day. But honestly, I suspect Kid Omega was considered a success by Second Dinner. I bet they made money, and I bet they're really happy about it. And that's why when the statement came out Friday, they just weren't.
Like, I doubt that they're really happy about the sentiment that is coming out from it. I bet they are probably happy about the bottom line about it, because I bet they did make some money from it. But I don't know if it is. I don't know if they made as much money as they would have liked on it. So that's the thing. Like, who knows if they're gonna take the right lesson from this, though, is the thing. And that's what I don't think is gonna come from this. Like, I hope they would, but I've lost all hope over time. You know, they have time and time again shown that they don't take the right lessons from this, and instead they say, no, it's the players that are wrong. We were doing this right from the beginning. We just need to be better at swindling, essentially. Like, we need to just communicate in a way that can convince them to do it and not realize exactly what's going on. Yeah, it does seem that sentiment is really low. I don't understand how they do that. The impact of this is huge. I had stopped Marvel Snap content for a year and had a positive view of Second Dinner. This controversy reached me, and I likely won't try another Second Dinner game if it stays like this. Yeah, literally. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you haven't been in... Oh, yeah. If you've stopped it for a year, are you just going around now to all the streams and all the YouTube videos and watching it like all the other people? Actually, did quit Hearthstone when the Hong Kong uproar happened. It was a convenient excuse for me to stop wasting so much time, so probably would be really good for me if Snap pushes me away. The Hong Kong thing is really unfortunate because it was like a two-person decision for the reaction. It was like a knee-jerk reaction for the Hong Kong thing at Hearthstone. Like, I worked on Hearthstone at the time, and the way the team is set up at Hearthstone is there's the development team and then there's the esports team, completely separate. Two different teams, you know? And you have, within the development team, you have analytics, which is kind of almost its separate team as well. And within that, you have QA, which is also its separate team as well. So it's like all these different things are interacting differently and not all together. And the esports team is the one who made some of the decisions in regards to the response there. And then the development team had to be like, wait, what are you doing? Like, we gotta like push. We have to, you know, do right by like other things here, you know. So it's just like they literally had like there's a lot of people that work on a thing. So it's just like boycotting an entire company. Like, it does suck that the people who made the decisions that were in that position made some of the decisions. But it's like there are good people trying to push back and get other things done. But it's not always the people that are at the top who make the final decision. And I think it's good to push back so that the people at the top can hear the feedback of the people beneath them that are saying, wait, we shouldn't do that. And then the feedback helps support the case, you know? That's how it generally works. Second Dinner won me back with their generous blip compensation. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it was very generous. I think that they showed that they did have the ability to have some generosity. But then they've showed time and time again that they just aren't willing to do it when it comes down to just straight monetization. They just literally like constantly have dropped the ball on that. The whole takeaway they're gonna get is we need to present these events in a more positive light. Yeah, literally that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they literally like it's all gonna be about messaging, all about marketing, and that's what it's honestly been that way since the very start. Ever since Nexus events, since they lied to us about what their focus would be going forward, they've just repackaged Nexus events and just marketed it as not Nexus events. It has essentially still been the gacha style system, just repackaged in a way that is more palatable to people to be able to interact with. It's been the same thing. They did make it cheaper, which I respect, but it's still not cheap like enough to actually make it worth it, you know?
Walking it back. I think if it had failed, if they saw the numbers shake out, like, oh, we're losing too many players, oh, people aren't supporting it, I think they would have had the same contrition they normally do. But what I think happened is like, oh, crap, that worked. We made some money, and I think we're screwed. I think that's what happened. I think it just worked, which I don't know. I don't know what to do about that, guys. So I do feel defeated a little bit. I feel like I was helpless. I don't know what's left. I think we just have to try to make as much fun out of it as we can. Like if you still enjoy playing the game, if you still have some fun in it, I think that's great. I think I will try my best to do the same. I think there's probably still a lot of fun to be had in Marvel Snap. I think there are just going to be moments that suck and we're going to be frustrated. And
I think they were forced to do that conversation based on how they showed how many people deleted the game. Well, it's like having that kind of event where the game becomes unavailable is like an apocalypse event for your game. Like you have so many people, like if they lose their fear is that you're going to lose exactly what I put up here. Your addiction and your habits. If you can't play the game for a couple days and you lose your addiction, you lose your habit, you're going to be out. This is exactly what they've been trying to do this whole time. And so they had to do a thing to get you back in. So they had to give a big boost after the ban, because that's the only way to get you back in and get the habit back and your addiction back, you know? Yeah, the hook was slipping and they had to do something to get you back in. So I understand that they had to do a big injection because of such a apocalyptic event for the game itself. This, I think, could potentially be a bigger harm because of the outrage from the creators. I think there are, like I spoke about this 2 days ago, but there are a lot of people who play Marvel Snap who do not engage in a drop of content. And I bet some of them are now seeing some of this outrage, even though they don't engage in the content because of the spread that it's been having. Like, if you just like are on Twitter in any way, if you're on Reddit in any way, if you're on any of these other platforms, even if you don't engage in Twitch or YouTube, like you might see some of this because it's just grown. It's definitely grown beyond just like the traditional content outlets.
And I think there are going to be other people who don't have any fun left in Marvel Snap. And I think that's also completely reasonable. I totally understand why you would feel burned or disrespected or pushed too far. And if you want to leave the game and or stop watching me or whatever, like I totally get it. I cannot begrudge you at all. I absolutely understand. So I think just every time one of these moments happens, we're just going to have, you know, people who trudge on and keep doing the thing because they still see some fun in it. I think we're going to have people who break away because they stop seeing the fun in it. That's okay. I wish there were less moments. I wish more people could find the fun in it. I'm going to try my best to keep finding fun in it. I mean, we're going to acknowledge when things go wrong. We're going to call out the stuff that sucks, but also try to have fun playing the card game as long as we can, I think. And hopefully that's for a while. But, man,
yeah, as a content creator, you never want to say that you're fully done with the game because then people are going to unsubscribe from his channel, from my Twitch. You know, if you ever say you're fully done, people are like, okay, you're done with Marvel Snap, I'm done with you, because a lot of the people obviously watching Regis or watching me are all in on Marvel Snap, you know? So I do generally think that I will continue engaging with Marvel Snap as long as I'm having fun with it. Like, but it's one of those things that like you just can't be fully done with it from a creator perspective if you want to continue. Like, even if you are gonna move on, it like I don't think Cozy ever said before he switched to Rivals, he's like, like, I'm gonna be done with Marvel Snap. He's probably even said like a week before, he's like, yeah, I'll keep playing Marvel Snap as long as I'm having fun with it. You know, who knows? Like, but he's pretty much done with Marvel Snap, you know. Like everything they try to do now will be plagued with negative feedback and reminders of the horrible situation until they remedy it somehow. They need to do a remedy. That's what I like. The response that they had was just like not enough, and I feel like they've got to be feeling some of the pressure from how bad the negative response has been and how many people like this. This to me feels way more negative than anything. Like, they've done a lot of shit since Nexus events, but this feels like the biggest thing since Nexus event. And I get that this is not even the same level as Nexus events in regards to how predatory it is, but it is still just like, it shows a pattern. It shows disrespect to the player base. It shows that they care about our money, not our engagement, not about good sentiment, you know? Do you think there's another response coming for Second Dinner, or do they try and dive through the shitstorm? A lot of times at game companies, they try and give a minimal response to try and let it shit cool down, you know, let it just like ride out the storm, as you say, you know. I think that is a lot of company strategies, is to not take it head on, because if you acknowledge it, especially if you acknowledge it on your platforms, like beyond like just Discord, you're going to be getting the people who didn't know what was going on involved as well now too, and you've made the problem bigger and more problematic. As I said, not a lot of people, like, there are probably more people who don't watch content that play Marvel Snap than do watch content that play Marvel Snap. So you're going to be engaging those people who then will go seek out the content and be like, what was going on? You know? So I, like, did they give out? They would never put out a statement in game itself. Like, they would never put something in here and be like, look, we're sorry. You know, they would never bring that side of Marvel Snap into it. Like, they will only do it into the, like, their platforms that people that are paying attention are already seeing, you know? So that's part of the thing. I don't know if they're going to do another response. I think if there's enough pressure, they might do another response. If they see their bottom line getting hit enough, they might do another response, you know? That's the thing. And I think they might be seeing that. Like, I think enough people might be quitting the game over this. I think enough people might be stop spending over this. And I think enough people might just stop playing over this, you know? So I think they might, and if they see enough of these creators saying all these things, I feel like they almost can't not respond.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully you found this video engaging and entertaining and helpful. And I don't know if it's helpful. I don't know if there's anything actionable here, but maybe it made some voices feel heard. Maybe it gave you some insights.
Snap's viewership has already gone down since the response. We currently only have 5 streamers live 30 minutes before reset, where we normally get double digits streaming the game. We don't, on a Monday like this, you actually wouldn't get that much anymore. Like, the viewership has been down for a while. The only reason you guys are here right now is for the controversy, you know? Like, if I wasn't talking about the controversy or the thing right now, like, half of you guys wouldn't be here. That's the truth of it. Maybe not half. I'd probably have like 600 viewers right now if it wasn't for like the controversy. So it's like, it's a little bit inflated just because people want to hear the drama, you know? But 300 of you are here for the drama, at least. Yeah, a lot of people don't watch it anymore. But we do, you know, I do think that the drama obviously is going to be a short-lived increase, and then we're going to see a big drop-off because of people quitting the game. You know, people aren't here because they want to see the new card or they want to see the new content. They're here because they want to shit on Second Dinner and hear how good their decision was to quit the game, you know? Yeah. I'm here for the will they, won't they with Plant. Oh. Marvel Rivals content, you know? Maybe this will help some people feel better about the game, some people feel worse, whatever. Heaven Computer, he thought the game was dead 2 years ago. You know? Same. I thought it was gonna... I literally put out some Doom videos 2 years ago, you know? Because, like, we maybe underestimate a little bit. Like, the thing is, these things actually do work for a short term, you know? They have been working, and they've been keeping Second Dinner alive. They've been keeping Marvel Snap alive because people are seeing the FOMO. They are addicted, and they have the habit forming. But the things that the biggest problem with this kind of monetization model is the second the habit goes away, the second you have some breaking event that breaks your addiction, and the second that there's just nothing to FOMO over because you have all these things broken, you're done. You're not coming back. People don't quit for a month and come back very frequently in this game, probably. You know, they don't quit for 2 or 3 months and come back. It's probably more common that you're just done forever. I met you because of Marvel Snap, but I'm staying because of who you are and how you run your stream. I enjoy your content. Thank you, Gabby Lynn. Wait, did we do 2 more slaps? Yeah, we did the Vermin Taco and Fat CJ slaps. Is this on Ben Brode or the investors in the second dinner? Like the blame. Well, Ben Brode isn't the only one who made... The company is run by more than just Ben Brode. Like, to blame it on Ben Brode. Ben Brode is the face of the company. He is not the... He's not the... well, every single decision isn't run by Ben Brode, you know? He's probably not even the final say on most things. Almost everything. Probably he's not the final say. Let me just see.
Whatever it is, it's just me and how I feel. So, boy, I'm sick of talking about this. I'll tell you. Sorry if I didn't respond to messages or whatever.
Same.
A lot of people have been reaching out to me this week. I'm trying my best, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I just want to go play with my toddler.
Who's been reaching out to Regis, you guys? Was it you? Was it you, Chad?
Don't have fun playing stupid decks. I don't want to be a representative for all this. I'm doing.
It was Raven.
Best.
Cut.
I'm sure I'll get some things right and some things wrong. I'm sure I'll make some people happy and some people mad. But at the end of the day, I'm just being me, and you got to take it or leave it. That said, thanks for making it this far. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I wish Marvel Snap the very best.
Yeah, click on the link in the pinned message. Give Regis a view. Give him a subscription, you know. It's actually gone up by 8,000 views since we started watching it. But yeah. Regis is the nuts. We really appreciate Regis and who he is in the community and all of the effort he put in to try and, you know, do right. He definitely put in more effort than I did in, like, speaking in the public forums. Public creator, as in, like, not in DMs. Like, he definitely tried to actually put in stuff. Like, I've tried to do, like reach out to people individually at Second Dinner and try and give some feedback and try and be like, look at this. But I feel like that does actually get more done than just saying it in, like, the creator feedback channels, because I do think that those kind of, like, don't always have the best responses, you know, occasionally. But I've stopped doing it recently, to be honest, because of losing hope and never seeing feedback taken. So I feel like I've already been more jaded than Regis has been. You know, I don't know. It's just like I haven't felt the need to try and, like, talk to people at Second Dinner for a while. Like, I do talk to them about things that I think I can make influences over, you know, like I talked to him about, like, the Golden Gauntlet stuff a bit, you know, and talked to him about, like, I don't know, some other random stuff, like Twitch drops and rewards around that. But it's like nothing that, like, there's almost nothing that I can influence, I feel like. Like, I try and always push for better stuff for you guys, you know. But it just seems like it mostly falls on deaf ears. This would be a perfect time for DC to relaunch the card game. Honestly, I feel like we just need a card game that has the premium look and feel of Marvel Snap. Like, Marvel Snap looks premium, to be honest. Like, and we need it to have gameplay that, like, rivals the, like, simplicity and depth, and with a better monetization system. And Marvel Snap would be toast. Like, it'd be done. It'd be over, you know? This game would be in the grave. Like, it would not have any chance. More simultaneous turn card games, yeah. That's the truth of it, you know? It just doesn't have the juice. It doesn't. That it used to. Just makes Marvel click. Why is that so hard? I mean, to make something feel this premium, it does take a lot of development work. It takes a lot of actual skill and talent. There's just, like, really, like, they took a lot of the skill and talent from Hearthstone that made Hearthstone have that premium feel, and they brought them over. A lot of the artists and other people came from Hearthstone. That's how they got that similar kind of like premium quality feel. There aren't many people out there that are doing that. Like you go look at a lot of the other card games, they just don't have that same feel, you know? It feels cheap, feels like less involved, or it feels a little bit too overly complex, you know? There are other card games that like it feels too over-engineered and too visually stimulating, you know? It's like there's like too much going on. Like it goes both ways, you know? It's hard to find the good middle ground. Like even like Shadowverse that just came out, I feel like it's too, like if we look at, what's the new one called? Worlds Beyond? Let me just look at a screenshot of this, of the gameplay. Can I just like go to Twitch? Like can I just, like we just look at like, I just pulled up a random webpage. But if you just like look at this, like there's like visually so much going on, I feel like here, that just like it's hard to like, I don't know. Can I make this bigger? It's like hard to really like, I don't know. Like it's trying to be simple, but it's also just like, it feels, it is like big numbers, but it's like, there's just like, maybe it's just because I haven't played the game and it feels like more visually cluttered because of that, you know? And it is a waifu game as well, yeah. It's a Gunnar game through and through. But it's like trying to be simple, but at the same time, it's just like there's a lot of random stuff on here. I don't know, like the background is a little bit too detailed in some way. I don't know. Like there's just something about it that feels, I think it's just because I haven't played the game. So it's like when you first look at a game that you haven't played, it looks a little bit too cluttered. But maybe like, and this I think is a simple game too. This isn't even an example of a cluttered game. That's the thing. Like this is a game that is pretty simple, I think. But yeah, I think it's just, it is a skill. Like, I don't know what it is, but just like the cards itself, I feel like don't feel like the same kind of like premium. Maybe it is a premium game. That is a premium game. Raven really likes that game. Yeah, I can't get past the Gunnarism, you know? I can't like especially if it's like mobile. I played Shadowverse 1 and I just like I played it just a little bit and I just like I couldn't get past the anime waifu look. Like I get that that's a vibe and some people like that and they're into it. But it's like it's not widely appealing enough, I feel like. It's not complicated game, but it is a game where combos can become overwhelming as MTG, yeah. Pokemon is a Gunnar game? Your Gunnar game? That's just weird, though. That's your Gunnar game. If my girlfriend walked in on me playing an anime Gunnar game, I'd never let it down, yeah. I'm sure there will be a new game to come along. Snap is basically the electronic version of the board game Smash Up, but way better, so I'm sure someone out there is cooking right now, yeah. Yeah, like I said, there is a game out there that I'm looking forward to, you know? A little bit. Not a lot. I would say, like, I have small expectations, you know? We'll see. Defiance? Can't speak on that right now, Raven. Well, but I've heard of the game. Is it any good? But yeah. No, I don't have an NDA with Defiance, but I might have something. Is monetization questionable? Yeah, I don't know. I found a niche for you to fill. There's literally no one streaming Tekken. I don't even know what Tekken is. What is Tekken? Is it a... Oh, it's a card game. Is it a Tekken card game? Or is it... Wait, what is this? Not Tekken card game. It looks like a Capcom card game. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. It looks like just a traditional card game, you know? I don't really see... I personally feel like at this point, Second Dinner would really have to go out of their way to fix something like this. I don't think most people would be satisfied with just like tokens in our mailbox like they've been doing for a while. Yeah, I really... That's why I have no hope. It's just because, like, I feel like what they need to do, they almost certainly will not do. That's the thing, like outside of this Kid Omega thing, I think monetization is still shit. That's the thing. Like I think money has never gone far in this game, and they've overpriced everything. It's been a debacle. Every single bundle in this game has been like okay, what do you actually get for this? Like if I spend $25, I get 3,000 gold. What does 3,000 gold give me? Does it even get me one extra Series 4 or 5 card? Almost certainly not. You know, it might give me one. It might give me one Series 4 card, maybe. I don't even think it does, though. And not quite. You know, it's just like $25 not getting you a card gets you a variant only. Like, it's just like, okay, cool. It's just like they really need to make money go further in this game. At least make it go further for the actual card acquisition. Maybe not further for cosmetics. Make it go further for the card acquisition. Make card acquisition, like, I don't understand who is over there that's not thinking this through and being like, if we made card acquisition easier, we could sell more cosmetics because more people would have cards that they could buy cosmetics for. We talked about this the other day. It's just like they're missing out on an opportunity. If we made it so that people could get to their favorite characters easier, they would buy more stuff because then they could buy their favorite characters, their cards that they want to play, more. Check out Spectromancer card game. Compared to early bundles, the new ones are so low value for the price. It's been the same, more of the same, you know. It's just like they've had a couple good bundles in their day. Like I feel like it's if they do too many bundles that are good value, they devalue their bad bundles. That is the truth of it. The second that you create a new price point that's too regular, people will hold off for the good price points. That's probably what they've seen, and that's why they probably got rid of a lot of the better price points, is because they need to make it more of a regular thing that prices are high, and that's what they want. They want people to buy the higher price stuff. And they've probably seen that people were buying the higher price stuff, and as long as people keep buying it, they're going to keep doing it, you know? I think there's another factor here that there's no real alternative mode like a draft mode or auto battler, so people have no other avenue to engage with the game other than constructed. Well, to be fair, having other modes actually hurts this game mode. That's what happened with Battlegrounds and Hearthstone. Like, Battlegrounds saved and hurt Hearthstone at the same time. It cannibalized, it ate some of the users from Standard when Battlegrounds launched. And Battlegrounds was much, 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 much lower monetized than Standard. Standard was the cash cow for Hearthstone by a lot. Arena made up less than 1% of the money they made. Like, at least in the later years. But for all time, it was definitely less than like 3%, you know? Arena was making nothing compared to Standard, you know? So, like, saying it's a less of an engaged mode. Like, Arena is a paid mode. Standard is technically a free-to-play mode, even though you have to buy the cards. You don't have to buy the cards. You could earn the cards, but yeah. There's no way to engage with Arena, really. I mean, you could go infinite if you're good enough at the game and get enough gold to continue playing, but... What's going on with Twitch keeps glitching out? I don't know. I think they made Conquest too hard, not being able to lose one game in infinite. I think Conquest is just a terribly implemented mode. I think overall, just like the overall feel and whatever, they tried to do something, but I think it was just, I can't even click on it. It doesn't even work, the buttons. Just like the fact that they have like, just like the overall, like, get a ticket to go up to the next mode and have it be a paid mode, like, without rewards that actually you can feed back into it. The original thing that they were going to do with this mode was to have you get gold and other rewards back. You could have gone infinite in this mode, but instead they made it so you could just get to the lower mode for free. Like, so you can still go infinite. Like, they were originally going to have the lowest mode be paid and have you win rewards, win gold, but they didn't want it to be the money people, you know, didn't want to do the other thing out there, you know, of they didn't want people to be able to earn gold, essentially. It should have been an arena style format. Yeah, I think arena style format would have been better. But the thing is, there is no purpose for an arena style format in a non-draft mode, right? Like a constructed arena style doesn't really make much sense. The reason that they have a limited run is because you have a limited time deck. You know, like, the deck can't just be used forever once you draft it. If it's just constructed, like, there's no purpose in limiting your run. Like, you should just be able to go infinite into the run if it's constructed, right? Like, play until you lose kind of thing. Because you could just start the same run over with the same exact deck. What's the most ambitious thing they've done with Snap other than the core gameplay? Ambitious? Well, I mean, their monetization. I think their like unique collection thing is ambitious, and I think it's fallen flat on their faces with that, you know. I think Conquest should have just been another queue with the Conquest style that was just you queue up a Conquest game, not like a this arena style. I think it should have just been another queue to just have that style of game in a ladder. I think that would have been better. And that would have gone further and it would have been more popular today. It might have been the main way people play. Gwent was great when they did their homecoming event. I don't know anything about that, to be honest. The priority system was the main innovation of the game. Well, I mean, like the main innovation was like the simultaneous turns, right? Like I think it kind of took like Artifact kind of did some of the similar stuff. Like it kind of had simultaneous turns in the sense that like at the end of the thing it would play out and you'd smack against each other. It wasn't truly simultaneous because you had like a initiative kind of system that would go back and forth. But it did at the end, you know, have a simultaneous outcome. So it'd be almost like you play. It'd be like Snap, where like you have your turn and then it resolves at the same time. But within playing the cards, you take turns playing out a card. You know, that's kind of what Artifact was. So it was like one step back from what Snap is. And Artifact also had the 3 lanes before Snap too. You know, so it's not like Snap innovated on the 3-lane thing as well. I think it is just like a repackaged, like better Artifact in a lot of ways. In the sense that it like, and by better, I mean better in ways that made it simpler, more digestible, and more player friendly. Where I think Artifact actually, personally, was the better overall game. It just was too in depth, too in the weeds, poorly monetized, and some other things like. But I actually liked the gameplay of Artifact better. Yeah, MOBA invented lanes, but in a card game, you know, it got lost in the sauce for sure. For sure. I did a full analysis while I worked at Hearthstone on Artifact and why I thought it failed. Breaking it all down, you know, every part of it. So I wish I had that whole thing, my whole write-up. I feel as Regis says, most people didn't play Snap, didn't care about anything of this, so I don't really know how much will change. Yeah, that's the thing. And there are some people out there saying like, just this is strike one, you know, we'll have to just keep an eye on second dinner, but you know, or there's other people out there being like, just don't get the card, just let it, you don't have to get every card, just ignore what they're doing. If you just get the cards you can get, you know, like there are other people out there just trying to say second dinner is fine, you know, let them do what they're doing. There's all sides of it, you know. I just think it's more of the same. It showed just disrespect. Yo, Whistling Sister, thank you for the 16 months. I've been able to commenting on my post about Snap saying the Snap monetization is good. Yeah. Okay. So good. So good. Yeah. That's how it goes. Officially strike one. But that's going to be it for me today. We went over the video. I was just going to hop on. I actually wasn't going to stream today, but I saw this Regis video and I wanted to go over it. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll stream the new card tomorrow. You know, what is the new card tomorrow? Dormammu. Actually, we'll definitely stream the new card tomorrow. I'll support the, you know, the designers and art people in the game, but we'll still complain about the monetization while doing it, you know. Yeah, I do want to check out Dormammu. Let me find somebody to raid. You're gonna raid Chris Melberger, a true variety streamer who's playing some Pokemon. See you guys later. Did that work? Yeah, okay. Sure, same Cut Mega is best in slot for Dormammu. Is it? Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, I like Chris a lot. Yeah, him and Eggs go back. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for listening to the rant. Thanks to Regis for putting out that video and standing up for Marvel Snap and what is right in the world. We'll be back, everybody. Tune back in for more streams, you know. Bye, all.